guilty of crime.
Hello, everybody. What is up? I am Jay with Guilty of Crime, and we're back. All right. Hopefully, everybody can hear me, see me. If you see those missing children, well, then you're looking at the right screen. You're looking at the right thing. Today, we're talking about missing children, Jack and Lily Sullivan. Now, a lot of people are really deep into this case, so I know you guys have a lot of questions, uh, probably questions for me and amongst each other. So first, I'm going to say hello to everybody. Hello, what's up? You guys do me a favor, hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't, get a membership if you can. You guys help support this channel. Now, if you don't have the means, hitting the like button's free. It helps get into the algorithm greatly. All right. So I see a lot of green in chat. Hello, everybody. Good to see you. I didn't see you last week. Hopefully my internet's running smooth now. I got all new speed modem and all the stuff that you need to get. So hopefully that's happening. Rebecca, good to see you. Much love to you. Shout out to Rebecca Michelot, Corey Michelot's grandma, everybody. And welcome everybody else. You guys, I have this missing picture up so you guys know and see the children that I'm going to talk about. Now, again, I have not presented this on my channel, so I know it feels like you guys have 1,000 questions, but I'm going to get there. I'm going to give you my theory, new theories, people, different information that I've collected. I'm going to give you statistics on children that have been missing after 24 to 48 hours. Guys, you know me, I try to keep it as real as I can, and I want to present the facts, and then we can talk about the case, and you guys can talk about it in chat. What's up, Ramona? Cornelius, good to see you, my friend. Shadow, Nat, the real Gemini, Guilty of Crime, gang. Yeah, you guys, this stuff is everywhere. It's the Diddy trial, Karen Reed, and Jack and Lily Sullivan. But I am glad that they are getting airtime. I am so glad they're getting airtime, you guys, because children do not just walk out and disappear. All right. So I'm going to start from the top after I say hello and let everyone roll in, because I know there are people that either haven't heard of this case, or if you've heard of this case, you heard bits and pieces, you've heard analysis, you've heard channels that, are going for 4 hours at a time. And so you're getting bits and pieces, but I'm going to start from the top and recap, and then we can talk about it. You guys can talk in chat while I'm presenting. Yeah, Diddy is absolutely a scumbag. I am following the case because I do believe that he should be locked up forever. I don't think he should get out. Even if they give him 20 solid years, I'd be happy with that. He'd get out and he'd be pretty old. All right. So welcome, everybody. I saw Cassie testifying today. She's super pregnant. So let's hope that goes smooth. I hear Diddy was staring her down in the courtroom like many others, you guys. So yeah, I do follow almost all the same cases you do. and those I choose to present on. Of course, I've got more to talk about in the Madeline Soto case with Stephen Stearns and so many other things. We have documents out there. We put another FOIA, so I'm hoping to get some stuff back real soon in that. Nat, thank you so much for the 5 guilty of crime memberships for all the guilty of crime family here. We appreciate you so very much. Tina's happy to be a member, and you guys are helping me to support the channel. So please and thank you. Diddy has aged, and guess what? When you go into jail and you can't dye your hair and you can't get Botox, you're going to age. So anybody that's thinking about doing a crime, don't. All right. Now, for these children, you guys, it's just so sad to hear missing children and these parents, guys. I am more skeptical of the mom than I am the stepdad. But we're gonna go over this because I'm not gonna leave you hanging halfway through. Indy Isham, welcome. Written in the stars, good to see you. I see so many new people here, and I'm so grateful that you guys decided to subscribe. So thank you, Anna Orlando. Midnight Lace. I saw some of you guys yesterday on my live. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yep, you start looking shabby. Yeah, you get locked up and you don't get all the good lotions and stuff that you get to have. All right, you're very welcome. Let's start at the top of this. All right, guys. Like I said, hit the like button, subscribe, get a membership. We have PayPal, Cash App, Venmo, Super Chats, and Super Stickers to help support the channel. All right, so I appreciate that. I do so very much. Now I'm gonna compare. I really want you guys to stay here today and watch everything I have to present. Yeah, there's probably no baby oil with all the extra love that he put in it. Now there's 111 people in chat, 111. So you guys, please let's stop and say a prayer that Jack and Lily are found and they're found safe. If not, let's say a prayer that justice is served and it's not another Sebastian Rogers case, okay? I cannot imagine going through this for another year trying to guess at what the parents did to these children. All right? Thank you. Thank you all. Yeah, they get Vaseline, baby. Lube it up with some Vaseline. Let's go. You can get 2 fingers, you can get 4. It's all your choice, right? Welcome, everybody. Welcome. Good to see you all. All right, I'm going to leave this up so you guys know exactly who I'm talking about. Jack and Lily Sullivan. I'm just going to start from the top real quick. And then we're going to, of course, as we do, I'm very, very, very visual. So Lily Sullivan, 6, and Jack, 4. All right, you guys already know this. Now I'm gonna lay this out for you, but I'm also gonna say that I believe that the discrepancy in time, I believe there is a discrepancy in time that these children went missing, and I think something was happening with those parents. All right, I think something was up. They were doing something. I'm gonna show you pictures of them, and then I'm gonna tell you a little bit about why I think they were using DRUGS, and I'm going to show you the layout of the home and some of the things that I don't think would be fit for children to be out there wandering around. All right, now if you guys saw me yesterday, you saw that I was out in the wild, right? And out in the wild, first of all, things don't in a community that's safe, things don't happen like that. Children don't just vanish. Somebody knows something, and I think the timeline is off. I think the parents were using, and I think they were regular users. And I'm gonna compare. We're gonna go side by side with a Chris Watts porch interview, and we're not gonna play the whole thing. Just Chris Watts and the mother in this case. And you guys keep saying you think she's off. I think she's off too, but I think she's on DRUGS, guys. All right, so. What's up, Ava? Good to see you. Happy Tuesday, Pointer Lover. What's up? And they neglected and locked up Cage. All right, guys. All right, let's get into it. Yeah, shout out. This is in Canada. It's odd. Canada is not like the United States. Not as many things happen there, and justice is just a lot different in Canada. Right? Yeah, Campin' J. I was out in the wild, guys, but it was more like glamping. I'm not going to try to lie and act like I was out there roughing it or anything. But at the same time, you don't let your children just wander around when you're sleeping. And I don't think that this timeline is correct. And it's not looking good for the children that they've backed off and what the people that gave the conference are thinking. All right, guys. So, top of the hour. Yes, Carly. Yes, 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 Carly. Lily, 6. Jack, 4. I know my daughter is 10 and she couldn't last more than 2 hours without me feeding her, watering her, pampering her, babying her, loving her. So, Lily Sullivan, 6. Jack Sullivan, 4. Went missing May 2nd, 2025, from their home in Lansdowne Station in Canada, Nova Scotia. All right. Now, I don't pretend to know the Canada area. I'll show you some pictures. We'll look at the map, the searches. Now, their mother reported hearing them playing in the morning, which is odd because she says they heard them playing, but they were sleeping, and then it jumped from them playing to her waking up and them being gone. You know how I feel about discrepancies like that. All right, so let's hope that my chat is going smooth today. I did upgrade the internet, change the modem, do everything I can, guys. All right, so you guys have fun chatting. Thank you for supporting me, Dee Dee from Kentucky. What is up? Thank you so much for the 199 super sticker. Thank you for the support. It means more than you know. All right. All right. So yeah, I'm gonna just get into it, and then you guys are gonna be like, whoa, what did I miss? All right. So authorities launched an extensive search. Now some people are 3 episodes in. I'm the first episode in. We're on May 13th. They went missing on May 2nd. All right. That's 11 days, guys. That's a long time. Authorities launched an extensive search deploying ground crews, helicopters, drones, and police dogs. Now, despite 6 days of searching, you guys know how it goes. Officials announce that the likelihood of the children being found alive is very low, right? I don't like to be the bearer of bad news, but if those children did wander off by themselves, the chances are low. Now, Royal Canadian Mounted Police, or RCMP, scaled back their efforts after 6 days, but continued to investigate. All right, so the basics of this: children's stepfather, Daniel Martell, has cooperated with authorities and even requested a polygraph test, which kind of threw me off a little. He knew they didn't have a polygraph test available, but he offered it, and there you go. He wanted to rule out suspicion. He even offered to take a drug test. Now, when you offer to do something like that, something's weighing on your mind. So something's going on there. While police do not believe the children were abducted, some family members have urged authorities to expand the search beyond the immediate area. Now, there's also no persons of interest, and it's kind of like the Sebastian case where they're not calling it a crime. However, the case has a lot of discussions about why there are no Amber Alerts. The mothers requested that. I don't really see what would be the harm in have done an Amber Alert or to do an Amber Alert, although Amber Alerts usually happen almost immediately. I know they do here in the US. All right, so the children's disappearance remains a mystery to me, to you, and everybody else that has been on this case. I don't care how deep you are, we just don't know yet. All right, we just don't know what happened. Thank you, Pointer Lover. I love the dachshund. Is that a dachshund or is that I can't tell what kind. No, that can't be. That's like that's a pit. I don't know what that is, but that's not a dachshund. I look closer. Thank you for becoming a member, guys. All right, so we're going to show you a whole bunch of stuff. I don't know if they have Amber Alerts in Canada, but if the mother asked for an Amber Alert, I'm assuming there are, and they don't know why they didn't do that. So there's a lot of suspicion around the family, per usual, right? That happens when you call something in and nothing's found, nothing's done about it. All right, so let me tell you a little bit more, and then we're going to get into the timeline. I did find Nina Nanaska sent me a timeline, and also thank you, Tiff, for helping me get this case together so fast. Now, yeah, people are speculating about the mom taking off and saying that they asked her to leave the property. Maybe she got into a fight with somebody. She blamed somebody and they told her to get out of here. But something's not right, Anna, about her leaving the house with her young child, I believe, and leaving the boyfriend alone. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, but we're gonna look into that, and yeah, I thought that too. I just wasn't sure. Let us know. Now we want to know. Oh, it's a pointer. Okay, pointer lover. There you go. What am I thinking? All right, you can look at the children photos and see neglect. You see the dark circles, kind of skinny. I mean, the property alone, guys, it's giving me Summer Wells vibes. Summer Wells vibes. Now you say, "Wow, GSP, that's some kind of energy." What I see is Summer Wells vibes with the property, but the parents always look good in their pictures. But please notice something when I show the parents pictures, that their eyes are very blue and their pupils are very dilated, either small or big, which tells me DRUGS. All right. Yeah. Trash home. Even the RV excursions that we go into, that's just temporary, is much better and different than the housing they have, which again, we're going to get into that. All right. That property is an accident waiting to happen. Summer Wells, thank you for saying math addiction. You're absolutely right. Summer vibes, and we'll call it math addiction. All right, guys. All right, so I do want to leave the pictures up for a little bit more as I talk about this, and then we'll get into a little bit more. That's way too young. All right, 4 and 6 years old. The girl Lily is 6. Jack's 4. Now, I want to give you a basic. I don't want to play this again unless we do another episode. But there was a press conference, and McCannon, that was leading the press conference, says a number of factors are taken into consideration scaling this thing back, which includes the age of the children, missing, the weather, how long they've been missing, and what area has been covered so far. They also say that considering the likelihood that they're alive right now is very, very low, guys, unless they were kidnapped and they're in someone's house. All right. Now, they say if we thought they were alive right now, we'd still be out there searching. All right. I'm going to go through this timeline with you real quick. They did a fantastic job on the missing siblings case files of missing and endangered. I'm going to just go over this with real quickly for those of you that haven't seen this, and you're going to think twice about the case. All right. You're going to think twice when you look at this again, because so many things come up in my mind as I'm going over this. Now, I have been following this, and I do have up-to-date information once we get there. I do appreciate you guys so much for being here with me. I'm going to give you the timeline, and then I'm going to show you some pictures of the people, the house, the searches, and then we're going to get all into that. You guys know we like to do the deep dives here, so thank you. I appreciate all of you for being here so much, because we have to come together. It's not in the United States, but Canada, right? Canada is not far, and we got a lot of friends there. All right, so I'm going to pull this down and I'm going to show you. We're going to go over the timeline real quick. It may spark something up. I am going to tell you that April 29th, 2025, which is 3 days. Listen, guys, 3 days before they went missing, we're not really sure. We're going to have to double back around on April 29th and really think about if those children were there before the search happened, before 911 was called. We don't know. We never actually saw them. Now, with Sebastian, I'm just going to use that as a point of reference. We saw him at the Outback, and then we don't know. We saw him get in the car and that whole exchange, but we don't exactly know what happened after. We don't know if he ever made it back to the house, right? Play some creepy horror music while looking at the family pictures, and the hairs on your arm will stand up. Well, guess what, Kelly? Guess what's going to stand up? The hair on your arm is going to stand up when we play the Chris Watts porch interview right next to the mother's interview. It's very creepy. Katie, thank you so much for supporting Guilty of Crime and becoming a member, as well as you, Pointer Lover. All right, I appreciate you guys. And yeah, Canada's beautiful. Nova Scotia is all the way, like almost at the end of the other coast. All right, Nanaska, I did get your email. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And I wanted to add that in there when it's autistic kids or children, guys, the likeliness of someone wanting to keep those children for long alive goes down, and the parents keep on talking about that. They keep it seems like nowadays all the children going missing are artistic. What's up with that? All right, Jay, Malia's brother kept a 15-year-old against her will at the trailer. All right, we're gonna get into all that. Thank you, the real Gemini. We're gonna get into this very crazy thing. So the last day, you see these kids here. Lily and Jack attended Salt Springs Elementary, a small rural I can't say it, rural school about 18-kilometer bus ride from their home. There was no school the next day, and the children were kept at home on May 1st and 2nd due to Lily's cough. All right. That strikes a red flag number one. All right. So we don't know where they were. Now, May 2nd at approximately 10 a.m., Malia calls 911. That's the mother to report Lily and Jack missing. Now, Royal Canadian Mounted Police, or RCMP, issue a vulnerable missing person alert in Pictou County. I think you say that right. And ask for the public's help in locating the children, who say they're believed to have wandered off from the home. Police don't issue an Amber Alert saying an abduction appears unlikely and the case does not meet the necessary criteria. Right? So I'm going to drop this down and we're going to go over the timeline real quick, and then we're going to get into some really interesting things, all right, about the case. There's a lot of interesting things about the case that you probably didn't even think about yet, or maybe you did, and we're going to talk about it, all right? So again, thank you for being here. Good to see you, Stolen Spirits. Good to see you. I'm glad you're out here on the YouTube streets looking into the true crime and missing children. All missing children, they all matter. All of them matter, all right? So welcome, everybody. Good to see you. Had brown eyes. All right, we're going to get into that. I don't know if you didn't see the pictures very much, but we're going to get into all that. Stepmom and stepdad had very blue eyes. These children do look like that. They do look like they have brown eyes. Let's take a look at that, all right? Lily, 6, Jack, 4. Both children live with their mother, Malia Brooks, stepfather, Daniel Martell, on Gairloch Road in Lansdowne Station, Pictou County, Nova Scotia. That's a mouthful. All right. So disappearance is when the parents called it in. Now, they reported missing around 10 a.m. I'm speculating that they were missing before that. Now, I don't know if it was a day or two before that or 2 hours before that. According to their mother, Malia, all right, Brooks Murray, she woke up that morning to the sound of the children playing in the next room, briefly fell back asleep, but woke again and discovered they're no longer in the house. She says she immediately called 911. Stepfather has been deeply involved in the efforts. You're going to see here soon. He describes them as awesome kids. We're also going to play the screaming at the top of the lungs video, noting Jack's love for the bugs and dinosaurs and how Lily, while fond of girly things, often followed her brother's lead. All right? Even though Lily is 6 and Jack is 4. So, family members raised concerns about the possibility of abduction and urged authorities to expand the search. Right? This is coming from the beginning. Now, Lily and Jack are members of the Sipke, I'm not even sure how to say that, Sipkini Katik First Nation. I don't know how to say that, guys. In response to the case, Chief Michelle Glasgow publicly questioned the decision not to issue an Amber Alert. Now, you guys should talk about that in chat because I don't know why they didn't do an Amber Alert. That's interesting. I mean, what would it have really cost them to do that? So let's look at the timeline and then we'll get into the actual pictures and search efforts so you know what's going on. Now, that's a good possibility too, but where are they? Where are they? All right. All right, but he said it in past tense. Yeah, there's a few of those. There's a few of the past tenses, right? Much wasted time when they don't issue an Amber Alert. That's what I'm saying. You normally issue an Amber Alert at the very beginning, but being at a school for 2 days is a big, for having a cough A cough is no big deal nowadays, guys. You send your children to school if they don't have a fever. The schools are pretty strict nowadays. I know. I have a child in school, all right? Yeah, I do wish they would. Again, this is in Nova Scotia, Canada, so much different than here in the United States and even California. What's up, Ashton Lee? Good to see you, my friend. Let's go over this timeline so we can get down to the other things that you guys want to talk about. All right, so Friday. It's Friday, May 2nd. All right. They call children were last seen playing in the yard, but according to who? Now, RCMP and emergency responders began search efforts immediately. Now, that's immediately depending on what the parents said, if that's true. Now, May 2nd through 4th, everybody's streaming this. Massive multi-agency search is launched. Over 160 trained searchers, including RCMP, volunteer, ground search, rescue team. I'm going to show you pictures. Infrared technology to sweep the forested terrain surrounding the home. No children, guys. The search area expands to approximately 4 square kilometers. Again, this is in Canada. All right, May 5th, RCMP state there's no evidence of foul play or abduction. Now, this hasn't changed. There's no people of interest. An Amber Alert is still not issued. A vulnerable persons alert is broadcast locally. Now, the community rallies, everybody's doing their thing, food donations. Where's the mom going? What's going on with the parents? All right, items are found, including a child's clothing and water bottle. Children's stepfather states the items do not belong to Jack or Lily, raising questions about their origin. Children's family urges RCMP to expand the search, borders, airports, suggesting a possible abduction. That's on the 6th. 7th, which is almost a week ago, guys, they announced scaling back after 6 days. All right. So that's it. Fewer search. They don't think they're out there. They stated that. All right. There's no indication of foul play still. And as a result, still no Amber Alert. They've scaled down and now we're out here looking. All right. Now, this is the chief and counsel of the SIPCNY. I'm going to go with that. All right. This is still on the 7th. We got chief and counsel, entire community, looking for these children. Jack 4, Lily 6 that have gone missing. Thoughts and prayers, all that stuff from the community on the 6th. You've got the May 6th community notice there, and we're on May 13th, guys. All right, so that's one of the best timelines that I've seen thus far. Now I'm going to share some pictures and things of the parents, and please notice this. I'll stop for a second and chat with you guys. I want you to notice how well taken care of they look. I mean, when I say that, I mean that mother doesn't look malnourished. The guy he's a little bit skinny, but when I look at their eyes every single time, guys, I'm seeing those blue eyes with their eyes either dilated or really small. All right, now we're gonna get into the cadaver dogs and everything else. Thank you, Emily Jane, for being a member and a friend and a family member of Guilty of Crime for 5 months. All right, so look at the parents, guys. Look at the parents. I mean, I can zoom in real big on those pupils, and I can see it in almost every photo. All right. Yeah, they absolutely both do. And when I show you the pictures of that property, I know you've probably seen them, but I'm going to show it again with some labels. And you're going to say, Jay, the reason he offered a DRUG test is because he was on DRUG. They weren't paying attention. Something happened. That mother's withdrawn. If stepdad take care of the babies like he did with them fingernails, then the nails are criminal. Kelly, I like you a lot. All right. I'd like to see the inside of the house too. If the outside looked like that, what do you think the inside looked like? All right, let's look at some of these pictures here, guys, and then we'll get into it. These people are always well taken care of looking. All right, hers are pinpoint. Thank you, Ava. Thank you. I couldn't have said that better. Sometimes they're pinpoint and sometimes they're just blasted. That's a huge sign of that, okay? Huge sign of something being dirty here. All right, HH4. All right. Local CPS wouldn't allow the baby to. Yes, I have things about the CPS. I have social media. I have text messages. I have so much. And people would say that's squalor. And then other people would say it's not. All right. But I would say it is. Let's look into it. Pinpoint is narcotics. Thank you. They are all mathed up. You gotta, yeah, I agree with that. All right, let's take a look at some more of these. I mean, look at this, guys. I mean, you guys weren't born yesterday, and neither was I. I mean, come on. Come on. Send in some cadaver dogs. Math does the same to me. Krista, good to see you, my friend. Sorry we're not doing Scott Peterson, but these children really need us to get their names and faces out there, all right? There you go. Look at that. Could have happened too. They could have OD'd, and those children could be buried anywhere by this time. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, they do. They've been like that. I'm not born yesterday, and neither are you guys. All right. So these people definitely look like they took more care of themselves than they did those children. He's got a nice looking shirt. It doesn't look shabby. You know, he looks like he's pretty well groomed. It's just those eyes, guys. Now he's out there searching. He's out there searching, guys. I don't know. I don't know about him, but I do know this. I do see those pinpoints, guys. I do see those pinpoints. I do have Scott Peterson next. I'm either going to do that tomorrow or the next day, but I promise to get to you. I did my research. Now, that's what gets cut. That is what is cut in those things. It's not that they want that. They're now addicted to that. All right. All right. We got to see them nails. They got to get cadaver dogs. We got to do a lot of things. I have seen his teeth, and we're going to talk about all of that, guys. All of that. That's why he's not smiling. He's got some chapped lips, too. I'm not trying to throw shade. I get chapped lips sometimes, too, but he's got the pinpoints, the chapped lips, and those teeth, guys. And you're talking about the fingernails and then that unkempt property. All right, guys. Thank you guys for being part of my channel. All right. I wish I could see them better, but you guys see what I'm saying. You guys know what I'm talking about. That's why you're part of this crew. All right, guys. So this mom that always seems to take care of herself, she doesn't look like she's lacking anything. And I'm not trying to be mean. I'm not lacking anything. But my children don't look like they're malnourished and don't look like they haven't taken vitamins, or I don't know. Something's up. They are not doing their job. They've got this little one here, and then you've got these two, I believe, are the two that are missing, right? Correct me if I'm wrong, guys. A real dreamboat. Cannabis is not illegal in Canada. All right, yeah, gumball, Billy Bob, teeth hurt. I get it. It's that. Hey, a lot of people in other countries don't really spend that kind of money on their teeth. Just saying. What's up, Bree? Good to see you. Dee Dee, good to see you. Ollie, good to see you. Sadie's mama. All right, so I'm focusing on the children here, and that's obviously too much for them to handle. Again, she doesn't look like she's lacking a damn thing, but it does look like she has a math addiction, right? She took off with this baby. What in the world would you take off when your children are missing? All right. So I'm going to stop sharing this, and I'm going to get into and again, thank you to everybody that sent me information on the case. Thank you to Tiff for sending me the case. A lot of the information here was put together by Tiff, which is my lovely mod, and she also does our guilty of crime merchandise. So thank you. You're a busy woman. Now, Tiff works full time and she has children. Tiff is a mama bear like us. So Tiff is out here fighting the good fight every day. All right. Now, here you go. You talked about the property. Here's the property. I wouldn't put my dogs in this house. All right. I wouldn't put my dogs in this house. Thank you. Yes, Jen's gypsy. Thank you to Tiff. Now, somebody called me bougie yesterday, and I say thank you to that. It was not a bad thing, but somebody went into my chat and said, "Hey, Jay, what's up? You're bougie camping or something like that, right?" I don't have a problem being called bougie, but don't catch me living or staying in a house that looks like that with any children. I wouldn't put my dogs in that house. All right, you guys know what my dogs look like. They're little itty bitty things. They would probably catch a disease in that house or die of rat droppings or something like that. All right. So we don't want to do that. I'm going to show you that. Foxy, let's say thank you, Foxy, for the 420 membership in honor of your brother. All right. I'm calling it Summer Wells again, and we can call it the Canadian version, but please let's not let it get to the Summer Wells point where we're over here speculating, right? We don't want to speculate like this for years. We want those children to please be found. I don't want to be working on this case for the next year, and I'll work on it. I just want them to be found, right? So here we go. Here's pictures of the property, guys. I mean, I don't know. I don't know who finds this acceptable, but it's unacceptable. If you're dressed like those people are and you're riding around trying to show off your thing and you're looking good, don't live in a house like this. It's not safe. If you have that many children, don't live in a house like this. All right. Now, they got a playground that probably looks like it's the best thing they got in this whole yard. This probably looks like the least amount, but I mean, this is just, I'd like to see the inside. All right, guys, I don't know what the hell this is. What did they sink their RV? Like, what is that? What's going on there, guys? Did the children go out there and like sink in the RV? What is that? It doesn't have, what are they doing? Making math? What is this? What is this? What is this? Part two? What's that? Breaking Bad? Is this Breaking Bad part 2? I don't know, man. Yeah, they do. All right, guys. Yeah, this is not good. Now, people put tarps on their roof when weather conditions get crazy. They do that to make sure that the water doesn't creep in, but that's beyond that. That's not nice. That looks like they've got making some math in that house. It looks like a big hole and it looks like freaking Breaking Bad. All right, it looks like they're doing something out there. That's what I'm going to say. So, yeah, this property is just, it's unacceptable. Let's imagine, guys, for a second, the parents didn't do anything nefarious, but let's say they were all mathed out the night before. They went to sleep. Let's say the kids went out at 6 a.m. and they went to go do something and they climbed in the back of one of these trucks or one under one of these cars and it wasn't propped up right. Or they went out in a ditch and they got stuck under something. Or just there's all kinds of things that could happen. Now we got the helicopter there. That's good. They're looking. But I mean, look at this, guys. You can probably find something dead here. Who knows how long later? I don't like to be judgmental like that, but that you shouldn't be able to live like that. I don't know if that's where the children played, but that's unacceptable, guys. Yeah, breaking math. It's like Breaking Math part 2. What's up, Amber Day? Good to see you, my friend. Yeah, if I was in the apocalypse, I still wouldn't live there. I would break into a nice house and live in a nice house. I'd bring all my weapons, all my ammo, but I wouldn't stay there. All right. I don't know why it's not condemned, but I gotta say, many times when people live out in the country, it's not like city life. If you did that in San Jose, they would condemn your house. You couldn't have that here. But when you have lots of country and you have lots of space, you get away with that. All right? They need to clean it up. But what about the children? Because were you the one that called me bougie? Because you bougie, Jay. Somebody called me bougie, and I said, thank you. All right. Thank you. I'll take that. All right. So, guys, I don't know. I want to get inside pictures. I'm hoping they're going to show us inside the house, but this looks like they're making math in here. I don't know what they're doing. It's not good, guys. Not good. Lots of bad things could happen. All right. So, I mean, you can go all the way back there. There's a bunch of stuff. You can see the little like RV, ATV that they got going on. I don't see a lot that children could do out here that are 4 and 6. I do see this, but you'd have to be out there with the parents. And I don't think they were doing their job that day or the children wouldn't have been missing. All right. So there you go. I think There's a lot of different pictures. Again, thank you, Tiff. I mean, look at this, guys. I'm sure that they searched all these places by now, but imagine finding children underneath that wood, right? There's little playground areas, but that's unacceptable. You could probably get stuck with a needle out there, guys. I think they're teaching arithmetic and algebra for sure. Definitely. It's not a house, but it's where they lived. All right. Let's not get that twisted. It's Summer Wells 2.0, but we really hope they find these children. I'm going to say dead or alive, guys. I'm telling you, I'm going to go up to statistics next. You're going to, all right. So look, thank you for labeling this because I was like, what in the F is happening, guys? So this is the stepdad's brother, mother's home, possibly. Nobody should live in that. Is that really a chicken coop, guys? I don't see any chickens, but it says the chickens. This is a chicken coop. It's giving me dirty needle vibes, right? So if people live in that, where were those people when those children went missing? All right. All saying, good to see you, my friend. I hope you're doing well. All right. Chickens. There's chickens and stepdad's brother's mother's home. All right. What's up? Blah, blah, blah. Good to see you. I see blah, 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 blah. What's your question? All right. Now, I hope and pray they're alive too, but I do got to tell you, I'm going to get into the statistics of this. And according to the missing database in Canada, more than 50,000 children are reported missing each year. All right. And 62% of those kids reported missing were found within a day, you guys. One day. All right. 50,000 children in the Canada database went reported missing. All right. In 2018, 62% of the kids reported missing were found within one day, while 92% were located roughly a week after they reported missing. Now, in Nova Scotia, the parents of Jack and Elise Sullivan are experiencing something no parent ever wants to go through. Not me, not you. I'm sure they don't want to go through this. I don't know what happened with them, but we will find out, I'm sure. All right. The Sullivan siblings have been missing since May 2nd, 2025. And we know what happened. We went over that. The searches are big. I'm going to get into that next. All right. Now, the police don't think that Lily and Jack were abducted. But what does that leave you with if they were not abducted? All right. Now, imagine there's the sliding glass door, guys. This is where they lived. And just keep this visual. All right. Keep this visual because you're going to hear about it when they talk about the sliding glass door. Amy G, thank you so much. Hello, Jay, from Wicker Park, Illinois. I'm new and I love it. Well, shout out to you, Amy G. Everybody, please welcome Amy G to the Guilty of Crime family. And she's from Illinois. So thank you. All right. Now, Eliza, I don't know about that sliding glass door being silent. My house is silent. I have a sliding glass door in the back, and you can hear it only a little bit because it's fairly new. Okay. But with that house, I could imagine hearing creaks, whatever you want to call it, cricks in the wood, in the glass, in the lock. I don't see how there weren't things making noises. They have dogs, whatever. Oh, what's up, Barbie G? Barbie G just came a new member. Shout out to you, Barbie G. Thank you so much. All right, so keep in mind on that visual as we go through this. Amy G, glad to have you. Mine as well. It's 25 years. Good to see you, RL. Haven't seen you in a while. I don't know much on this case. Did the kids miss 1 week of school before the parents called them missing? They missed 2 days of school before that. There was no school, and then they called out 2 days because they said they had a cough. What's up, Maria? Good to see you. All right. Yeah, I want to know if they had family dogs too. Dogs make noise, and that sliding glass door in that house, I guarantee you, makes noise. All right. That house you're going to hear walking, creaking, whatever, all the stuff you're going to hear in that house. All right. So let me and just make sure I told you everything about the statistics. All right. We're done with the statistics. We're going to talk about the All right, we're gonna go through the timeline, and I'm gonna play some videos because I do want to play the video of the initial. Hold on, let me make sure I didn't miss anything here. Pictures of Lily and Jack. Okay. All right. Let's do. I'm gonna play this because I really want to. I don't like this voice, but I'm gonna just do a quick 2-minute clip that Evil Exists put out. And I don't like the voice, guys. I don't like the voice, but I agree with this.
I've always had the suspicion that Lily and Jack vanished way before they were actually reported missing. When reports from a neighbor emerged about a party at the house the night or 2 nights before the children went missing, my suspicions grew even more. Not a single person at this alleged party came forward to say they were at the house and saw the children. I find that abnormal. There would be of vital importance to the case if they were at the house on Wednesday or Thursday and saw the children. If they didn't speak to the media, then I sure hope they spoke to the police. In this video, I want to show you how the timeline in this case makes absolutely no sense. There are too many holes in the timeline.
Woods and fields searching for 6-year-old Lily and 4-year-old Jack Sullivan. Their stepfather, Daniel Martell, spends every evening conducting his own search.
As soon as I saw the scene they were missing, I jumped right in the vehicle and I did every dirt road and searched every culvert.
The children are thought to have wandered away from their home in Lansdowne Station on Friday morning. Martell believes they were only gone for about 20 minutes before he and their mother noticed they were missing.
According to this interview, the kids were missing for about 20 minutes when they were reported missing to police. They were reported missing around 10 in the morning. Not sure what time the kids woke up, but according to the stepfather, Lily poked her head a couple of times in and out of the room. They heard Jack playing in another part of the house.
And maybe it was my bad. I showed the family picture, but I really want you guys to have a complete picture of this family. It absolutely would creak when someone walked there. Everything about that house creaked. I guarantee you. All right. I guarantee you. Man. All right. Sorry. I just had to.
Then comes this dispatch audio that clearly says the kids went missing at 0800, which means there was a 2-hour gap between when they went missing and being reported missing.
They've been gone a long time. 0800.
The mother then says that she noticed they were gone and immediately called police. Something doesn't add up here. Could it mean that the kids were last seen at 8, and then the mother and stepfather fell asleep, awaking at 10 again, to notice the children were gone? So, 2 young children left unattended for 2 hours, with an unlocked sliding door that they say is silent. I don't buy it. I do think the children vanished long before they were reported missing. It could have even been the previous day or two, since they weren't at school, and no one has come forward to say they saw the kids on Wednesday or Thursday.
All right, so I'm going to pull that down. I know you guys don't like the voice. We're going to do this. Searchers, we're going to a lot of people don't know this case. We're going to go over the search efforts, and then I'm going to show you how Lily and Jack's mom is giving the biggest red flags. The boyfriend I'm split on, but what is happening? What is happening in this case? I mean, we're going to find out, right? I think what you guys are so invested in is finding these children, which is why we're here, right? So as we get it out early, it's nice. I mean, I wish I would have been back earlier, but you guys know me. I'm usually Monday through Friday. I wasn't in town, and I wanted to get everything I could put together. I'm Canadian, but I agree with it. Plenty is being said. All right. I want to listen to this real quick and show you some of the search efforts as we get into this.
Of a search in Nova Scotia for those 2 missing children. And today the RCMP announced a significant and concerning change. The search is being scaled back.
Based on the experts and the review of the facts, the inclement weather, the time frames, and their age, the likelihood that they're alive right now is very low.
We're transitioning from a full-scale search to searches on more specific spaces.
And these are some of the things that I went over. These are some of the things you might have seen. Please stay with me. I have much more content to present today. All right. I have much more content. I have much more facts. And then also we're going to speculate a little bit, and we're going to compare the mother with that of Chris Watts. And something's wrong with her emotions, obviously. Now we know Jen Soda. We can compare that real easy. We know how she was. But people keep saying something's not right with the mom, and you're going to find out what we're talking about, what that means.
Spaces have already been searched by our teams. we want to circle back to increase the probability that all clues have been found. And when transitioning from an active search to a scaled-back search, the probability of survival is taken into consideration. I want to assure you that our missing persons investigation continues. We're not packing up, and we're not giving up.
6-year-old Lily Sullivan and her 4-year-old brother Jack were reported missing last Friday. Police received a 911 call that they had wandered away from their home in northeastern Nova Scotia. The search is taking.
All right, so that looks beautiful. I saw that and I'm like, wow, that's like, I mean, I would love to live there. And I wonder, you guys, if you guys are from, anybody from Canada, I mean, is that typical that if you have a lot of land like that you might have some old trailer thrown out there? Because isn't that, they're supposed to have multiple houses on that property, but those houses don't look livable. I don't know what's typical for way out there in Nova Scotia. You can see where Halifax and Pictou County, where they are. Now Nanaska says the inside of the house look nothing like the outside, which I haven't seen it just yet. FBI needs to get involved. They don't have a person of interest, and they don't have they haven't named this even. They haven't even said it's a crime. All right, so it's not typical. I know some people were talking about homeboy's chiclet teeth, but a lot of people in other countries don't go get braces just because they have the chiclet teeth. So, all right, very low income area. Okay, all right, let's go. Let's keep going so we can get to what I think and compare.
In place in a Pictou County community called Lansdowne Station. It's about an hour and a half.
Right, keep in mind we have 409 people here. We're gonna give away a guilty of crime blanket, you guys. Right now it's April 13th. It was raining yesterday where I was in California. All right, so a blanket with guilty of crime logo on it. We're gonna give that out when we're done presenting this. So I hope you guys stay with us. All right. My 5-year-old grandkids can't pull the sliding door open, and you should always have locks. But I got to tell you, Leanne, that house doesn't look like it was very child friendly. It doesn't look like they accommodated for that tiny little baby that they had. All right. I'm sorry, May. I said April showers, May 13th. I keep saying next month's June. It's summertime. It's my wife's birthday month. I'll be gone a lot next month, guys. So I didn't mean to say April. It's not April. Don't come for me. You can quote me on the chiclet teeth. May 13th. Thank you. I knew it was May. All right. All right. Thank you, guys.
Northeast of Halifax. Searchers have covered an area roughly the size of downtown Halifax. About 160 people have taken part, and they've used helicopters and drones. This is a heavily wooded area with many downed trees from that hurricane that blew through in 2022. CBC's Nicholas Sagan joins us now from just outside the search area. And I know you've been there since Monday. You've been asking police questions throughout about their investigation. How has their tone changed in the way they're talking about this case?
Well, Ian, today they basically announced that the search and rescue portion of the operation is over. They've had hundreds of highly trained search and rescue volunteers from across Nova Scotia and some from New Brunswick. They've been working 12-hour shifts, working through the night, and those people are being sent home at the end of the day today. So RCMP are actually going to take over the search. They said they're going to be searching areas that have already been searched.
I mean, guys, they stopped the search, but what do you do? How do you sleep at night when you have not one of your children, but two of them, 4 and 6 years old? There's no way they would be surviving outside, guys. I can't understand what, I don't know how the mom could have left. It doesn't matter under what circumstance. If I wanted to search for my babies and someone said you got to leave the property when I have that many children with my boyfriend, whatever's going on, you wouldn't be able to get me off of that property. Something's not right. All right. Something's not right, guys. So remember, these are the children that everybody's talking about right now, and rightfully so.
searched, and they're looking for clues or things that may have been missed. So the tone did change today. Throughout the last few days, they've been saying that they don't have any evidence to support that there has been any foul play. They've been saying they think the kids just wandered off from their house. But today they mentioned suspicion for the first time. They said this case is being considered suspicious, but they said all missing persons cases are considered suspicious until the investigation leads them to think differently. Today, they also confirmed that RCMP Major Crimes Unit has been involved in this investigation since Saturday. Here's what the officer in charge of major crimes had to say.
When it comes to a missing person, we have to automatically consider are there people that have different charter implications and things like that. So we will automatically start to consider what evidence is pointing us towards suspicious in nature. Again, I can't comment more than that, but every missing person case, we would approach it from the same process, a methodical collection and review of information with decisions based on that.
And so the father of these two children, Lily and Jack, the stepfather of these two children, has told us that he has had his home searched, his phone searched, and that he and his family have been interviewed by Major Crimes. We asked RCMP if they could confirm this, and we haven't.
Well, that was one of the reasons, besides the fact that everybody needs to put this out there. Many people are 3 episodes, 4 episodes in. It does look like dangerous terrain. When I saw this case, I was not home. And I saw it get picked up on like days before. And then I was out there, out in the wild. And I thought, man, if any child, even an 8-year-old, 9-year-old, 10-year-old that knows how to, make something to eat in the microwave or whatever, they're not going to be able to do that in that terrain at 4 and 6 years old. All right. I have to watch some of the replay. Somebody always gets to call when I'm all right. Well, hopefully with this next clip, we're going to get back to what happened and clues, and then we're going to talk about red flags, guys. All right. So this is about the search, and I'm confining, giving you just a quick, not making you listen to the whole presser over and over.
Haven't heard back about that.
Yeah, such a delicate kind of investigation to do, because you have, the parents who are going through not knowing where their kids are. And at the same time, how do police deal with the family as they go through their investigation? So in terms of the stepfather, how has he been reacting to today's update?
So he's been...
Yeah, and you have to look with a magnifying glass at these children and these people. When you have 2 missing small children and another small child, and then 2 more, you're gonna look at the way the children dress, the way the parents dress, if they look malnourished, the housing. Now, if those children weren't missing and it was just it's a family that doesn't have the means, whatever. No one's here to judge. No one's here to judge me. No one's here to judge you. Nobody was here to judge them until they lost their children that went missing and vanished. So that's what we're talking about today. We're not trying to be judgmental. We're just I'm telling it how I see it. And how I see it is something is really wrong in that house with that property. I know CPS has been involved at some point, and it just doesn't look safe for, was it 5 children, 1 small, 2 missing, and the other 2 we don't even know. So yeah, you're not going to be on a block. You're not going to be on this, this platform to be judged if your children weren't missing. There's 444 people here. Say a prayer that Jack and Lily get brought home safe, you guys. And there's something miraculous that happens. I don't know.
Speaking with us every day, speaking with lots of media every day, trying to get the word out, making pleas to the community for people to come forward, because he has been saying that he thinks this is an abduction. He's been calling for an Amber Alert to be sent out. He's been calling for checkpoints at the border and at the airports. I asked RCMP about that today, if they have any new information that could lead them to think it's an abduction. No. They wouldn't comment on that and said there's no information that can be publicly released. So the stepdad today is, he said he's exhausted. He said he's still holding out hope, but he had a briefing and they told him about the change in the search. And here's what he had to say about that.
Well, I know they can't go.
And yeah, looks are I never looked at these parents originally and said they did it. But when I started looking at it as a whole and their actions, absolutely looks are deceiving. But when you see that you're being deceived by two people and their children are missing, you're gonna look closer, right?
Forever. I mean, there's search and rescue workers searchers that have already been injured. They've spent so much resources. I mean, resources doesn't matter at this point, but I mean, everybody's tired. There's some people that I don't think even they even went home.
And the stepfather has been saying that his family has been out searching around the area every day.
Nicola, thank you very much for your reporting. All right, well, let's get some more on this from Robert Parker. He's the warden of Pictou County. Robert, thank you very much for joining us late in the evening. And after 6 days of searching, the RCMP says they're going to be scaling back. What does that tell you about the status of the search?
Well, thank you, Ian. But the searchers have searched really hard for 6 full days. They've combed that area back and forth. They had dogs, they had drones, they had helicopters. People around here, I think, are...
Yeah, like I said, if you grew up in something like that and it was safe for you and safe for your brothers and sisters, well, hopefully your brothers and sisters never went missing, all right? And they didn't have to look close. These people could be doing the best that they can do, but they obviously... their children went missing and they don't know. Kids don't go missing at 8 o'clock in the morning if you're up and doing what you need to do. And then they should be able to go outside when you have all this property. It just doesn't look like they kept it up enough to keep them safe outside, right? So, yeah, we would never say anything like that. People are talking about them being potty trained. It depends on the people. Now, they don't let you send your kids to school out here if you're not potty trained. You can't even go to daycare if you're not potty trained, or you have to spend like extra hundreds a month. And who the heck would want someone else, in my opinion, just me. I'm a like ultra mama bear. I didn't want anyone changing my daughter's diaper. So I did that. Right. MM Clark, good to see you, my friend. Love you. Haven't seen you in a while. Hey, under the mystic moon.
Generally in agreement that they've done everything they could possibly do to find these 2 little ones. And so it's not a surprise today to anybody. I don't think that this has been scaled back. We knew we're going to have to accept this sooner or later. And today was the day. And I think the words of Staff Sergeant Curtis McKinnon there are saying, we're not going away. We're not going to give up until we bring little Jack and little Lily home. I think that means a lot to people, that they're still going to keep looking for these little ones until they bring them home.
Yeah, boy. Have you had a chance to speak with the family?
Yeah, guys, we're all grown-ass adults here. Let's try to stay on track with Jack and Lily being missing. I'm going to give you the parents' red flags that I see and updates in the search. But, if we're just nitpicking at something that doesn't need to be, we don't want to offend anyone. We don't want to offend you, Eliza, or anybody else. Some people don't potty train their children at a certain age, and some people do. Some people breastfeed their children, literally breastfeed their children until they're 4 years old. I shit you not. My aunt used to breastfeed my cousin until he was 4, and we were only a few years older. We would tease them and say, how's he going to go to school? Is he going to come home for lunch and breastfeed? So we're not having a competition on who did what first and who has more. We're talking about Jack and Lily missing right now. I'm not talking about me or you. I'm talking about Jack and Lily and the parents. Auntie Reed, good to see you. Hello from Maine. All right.
No, I have not. I know the mother is in another part of the province with her family, and I tried to stay out of the way, to tell you the truth, Ian, because as a county council, our job is to provide funding to the search and rescue teams, to the RCMP, to the firefighters, and then let the experts do their job, and they've done it well.
Such a grueling thing to go through, the sort of alarm being raised, the people who have just jumped in and worked so hard.
Yeah, and this is a sensitive topic. I know that there's people from Canada. There might even be fellow family members. I would love to talk to a family member. I would never want to say I'm bashing somebody that their children went missing. We're just trying to get to the bottom of it. Gloria, welcome. This is Gloria's first live here, you guys. Welcome her. And Tracy, you're right. Prayers for Jack and Lily. That's what we're here for. Yeah, we all have different opinions. We all grew up different. We all have different ways of thinking. We all have different lives. We all live in different areas. But it's not even about us. It's about Jack and Lily and the parents that maybe should be looked at even closer. I don't know. That's what we're talking about.
Involved in this search under some really difficult conditions, as I understand it. And now hearing that the search is being scaled back because little chance that these kids have survived if they are out there in the woods. What impact is this having on your community?
It's been like a high tension wire in for the last 6 days. There's not a conversation takes place in this county where it doesn't very quickly go to the little ones and people's thoughts and on what might have or could have happened and all of that. But there's an old saying, that it takes a village to raise a child. Well, right now, all of Pictou County is that village, and we feel like we've seen the faces on TV, and we've seen so much that we feel like these children are ours. All of Pictou County.
Yeah. And then, of course, every time there's a situation like this, and this is not, unique to Pictou County, there'll be all kinds of sort of suggestions, allegations, rumors, and I'm not asking you about.
And you hear what he's saying right here. It's not unusual, and we are a true crime community that hears these cases all the time. We still got Candace and Don Wells. I mean, Kyron Harmon, guys, Kyron. They're looking back into that. That is a suspicious AF case where a mom went to the school for this science fair thing, if I'm correct, and the child went missing. That's something that we should be looking at. Yeah, boys are typically harder. What's up, Mama Ames? Good to see you. Yes, boys are harder, but that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about Jack and Lily. And what's so Kyron? Yeah, it's Kyron Harmon, right? Kyron Harmon. However you spell that. All right, the stepmom, Kyron Harmon case. They're looking at that again. But my best friend, when Reese was 4 years old, 3 years old, she was already potty trained. My best friend's son was 7 years old, and she was still changing his pull-ups. And I didn't judge her. Each kid, people would give her shit, and I'm like, hey, whatever you got to do. And you know what? Eventually, he stopped doing it. It's case by case, but people, just don't let your children go missing. Please lock the doors, put locks on it, child-proof your house. That's all. That's all. I mean, I can say that to anybody, even myself, and I did that. I'm still taking off. I'm redoing the house and taking off child safety locks, and Reese is already 10, guys.
The content of those, but what I am curious about is how do you deal with that when you know that people are kind of asking questions and feel like they have the answers? Yeah, how do you respond to that?
Well, I think, Ian, it's human nature to, when they've done so much to find these little ones and it's not happening, it's human nature to say, well, what did happen? And suspicions arise and whatnot. I think as long as people keep in mind not to be nasty and not to be mean and not to say things that may have no truth to them at all, that's very hurtful, and that can hurt a lot of people. I just keep reminding people that keep it within yourself if you have some thoughts, or you and your partner or whatever, but don't go spreading it online and in public when you don't know whether it's true or not. You can just hurt a lot of people. What we all need to remember at this time is be kind. Be kind to each other, be kind to the family, not saying things that you don't know whether they're true or not.
Yeah, really wise counsel, Warden. Thank you very much for speaking with us tonight.
You're welcome in.
Robert Parker is the warden of Pictou County.
All right, nobody really believes that they wandered off, in my opinion. Nobody believes, and everybody knows that children don't just disappear. So I did find and then we're going to listen to some Deception Detective, because I want to get through this first, but I want him to do some of his great statement analyses, the recent one. This is great. I've never even heard, and I put this in my chat. The channel is Kailu, I think. Let me look at it. I don't even know how to pronounce that. Kailu. All right, I put it in there, but this is great, guys. We're going to talk about the day one suspicions, and then we're going to get into red flags. All right, guys? And thank you, everybody that is in here. Thank you for supporting the channel. Martine, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Graciela, thank you for being a member for 11 months. All right. All right. Let's get back into this, guys. Let's get back into this. Here is the latest now we're getting up to the latest of things that are happening. Red flags, in my opinion. A lot of suspicion. And I wish I had time for it all today, because I do have social media posts, CPS talking about what happened with a CPS in the past. There's a lot of speculation, but they didn't find anything, guys. No, they didn't find math in that house. When I was saying Breaking Bad and, making jokes like that, no, there's nothing that implicates the parents at this point, other than the fact that they called 911, they reported them missing, they went out, and they're responsible for what happened. Now, there's not a big scoop on the bio dad at all. People always ask that question. Tiff, if you know anything about the bio dad, let me know. Let's get into this, and then I'll see what I can do to. I don't think there's much on that.
2025, 6-year-old Lily Sullivan and her 4-year-old brother, Jack Sullivan, disappeared without a trace from their rural home in Lansdowne Station, Nova Scotia. Their story has shocked the nation, sparked widespread concern, and left a community desperate for answers. In today's video, I'm going to walk you through a clear and thorough timeline of events as we know them, and explore the family's statements, the official search efforts, and discuss the speculations and unanswered questions.
All right, so we've put the facts now. Now I'm going to tell you what I think, and I weigh heavy on these clues. I weigh heavy on deception detective statements, which is next, but also comparing the Chris Watts interview. No emotion, a lot of the same word for word. And what people tell you on the news or people tell you in an interview is what's weighing in. So the bio dad's in prison, Carrie and Synth, and a lot of people say he's been in and out of prison for so many things and he has not been in the children's life. Now that stepdad seems to be genuine, but there's also things that reasons why he doesn't seem to be genuine. He did ask for a lie detector and a DRUG test. But what does that mean? It means he's thinking about the DRUGs and answering those questions. Why? We don't know. We don't know why, because we haven't found the children. They haven't said these people are people of interest. There's been no crime committed at this point. But we are going to get into speculation right now
that continue to surround this heartbreaking case. It was Friday, May 2nd, 2025 at around 10 o'clock in the morning when Lily and Jack's mother, Malaya Brooks Murray, called 911 to report that her children were missing. She told police over the phone that she had heard them playing earlier in the day before falling back asleep, but when she woke up again, they were gone.
What happened was we woke up, I heard them playing in the next room beside us.
Oh, really?
And I was drifting in and out of sleep. And they're not the type of kids we tell them not to go outside on their own. We always make sure that we're out there with them, watching them. And they happen to just get out that sliding door and we can't hear it when it opens. And they were outside playing, but we weren't aware of it at the time. And the next thing we knew, it was quiet, and we get up and
right after this, I'll get into that. The Synth says a lot of people are saying different things, guys. I'm trying to present this case from ground one. I will play the evil exists thing. He's not in prison. All right. So let me I'll let you guys answer each other while I'm presenting, but I'll come back around to it. All right. We have more information, but I'm trying to go in order of what happened here and then give you that. All right. And then we're going to dive deeper into it.
I tell him, my partner, Daniel, I tell him, do you hear the kids? And he says, no. And we get up instantly. We're looking outside. We're looking everywhere, yelling for them. And I instantly just call 911. I just had the instinct I needed to call. They're both really go-lucky children. They're so sweet. They talk to anyone. They'll talk your ear off. They will speak to anyone in a store. Everyone. They're just extremely sweet kids. I appreciate the huge search effort going on right now. But we've been pushing for an Amber Alert, which hasn't been issued. Not just that they could possibly be abducted, which it is a possibility that they could have been, but just an
And I really want to see the inside of the house with you, so I'm going to show you that next because there's so many things to dig up, and I'll give you a quick and thank you for who pointed out it was on Evil Exist channel. You guys, thank you, because a lot of you guys are deep already, 3-4 episodes in, and we're only on episode 1, and not because we're not looking into it, but I need to present the right thing about it. All right. And thank you, Robin. It is absolutely about the kids. It's not about me. It's not about you. It's not about Robin or Rebecca or Johanna. It's about the dad. It's about the Jack and Lily. And then after that, what the stepdad did, what the mom did. Those were the 2 people that were there. Right. But I do have a video on inside of the house and then a quick one on the biological father so we can get that out of the way. But there's a lot to this. We'd be here for 4 hours getting into everything I want to present today.
alert to let everyone know that they are missing.
Immediately, people started questioning what the mother had said. It's very bizarre that in her statement, she doesn't know that the children were outside, couldn't hear them open the door, but then knew that they were outside. The way she talks about the door opening, she's not talking about it as if it's a possibility. She's talking about it as if it happened, yet at the time she didn't know that they went outside. I personally find this to be interesting because if your children go missing and the last place you saw them was inside of the home and you never heard them leave the home, why would you start telling the story that they were outside playing if you didn't know that they were outside playing? That's the first time people started questioning the mom because she knew so much while saying she didn't know anything. From May 2nd to May 4th, more than 160 trained searchers were involved in looking for Lily and Jack. They covered about 4 square kilometers of dense wooded terrain using everything from infrared technology to helicopters and drones. The interesting thing about this is what they're saying is that the terrain is so difficult for even trained adults. So how would a 4 and 6-year-old even be able to get out there unless they had help or someone take them out there? Them searching a terrain that they know that a 4 and 6-year-old wouldn't be able to do themselves definitely tells me that they have concerns that they were not alone. On the 5th of May, the RCMP stated publicly that there was no evidence of foul play or abduction. That same day, many began questioning why an Amber Alert hadn't been issued, especially given the children's ages. Now, the only evidence that they have found of the children at all is one footprint on the edge of the woods. Some people are questioning if this footprint was planted there. Now we have to talk about the stepfather. Daniel Martell has done interviews and people immediately noticed that there was a scratch under his eye.
Last few days have been very stressful. I mean, ever since the Friday morning when we noticed that the children were gone.
And if you notice how he talks, please do pay attention. He'll say one thing and then decide to change his words. Now, I don't know if that's a DRUG habit and he's blah, 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 blah. He says, we're looking for the children. Like, he does that a lot. He'll be talking and he'll just talk really fast over himself. It's really weird. I don't know if that's him being in a state of panic, which is better for me. I'd rather see him being panicked and feeling something than that mom that I feel like she's citing it word for word. We're going to say this. We're going to say this. We're going to say this. No emotion. Yeah, he says kids, children. Like, he does it a lot, though. He does it a lot. I've listened to this many times.
Immediately jumped in the vehicle, surveyed all the areas, many dirt roads, many culverts as I could, and waited for the police to get there.
If you look at past photos of him prior to his children going missing, this scratch is not there. When you have 2 missing children, you have a wife that is giving weird statements that don't exactly line up, and then the husband has a scratch under his eye. This raises red flags for people observing the situation and these missing children. When he conducts interviews, he's also said some very bizarre things. He's describing clothing that they were wearing, shoes they had on, backpacks they had with them. Yet they didn't know that they were even outside. So how would he know what they took with them when they went outside if they didn't know that they even went out there?
Took their boots. That's pink boots for Lily, blue boots for Jack with dinosaurs on them. Lily had her backpack with white, and it was white, strawberry.
Yeah, guys, how is he describing that when they didn't even know they left? How in the frick Is he saying that because the backpack's missing? Are you telling me that they got dressed, put the backpack on, and they only had that one thing, so Detective Stepdad knew what happened? Something's the problem. Yeah, chat's covering the dad. We'll get to that. Lots of red flags. Hashtag always arrest Jen Soto now. We're going to come back to that later this week, and we're going to do a call-in. All right, you guys listen, though. You say doesn't sounds like Jen Soto, don't it? Just wait who we compare it to. And don't forget, guys, hit the like button and comment. If you don't comment, you won't be able to win the blanket. I don't even have a blanket. You hear that, Tiff? I need a guilty of crime blanket. I know. I need to buy one. Put it on my tab, right? All right, let's keep going.
Strawberries on it. I imagine now if they're in the woods that it'd be probably brown, but I don't see them carrying their backpack. I don't see them keeping a pull-up on for that long after it got soaked from the very first day. We only found the 2 boot tracks outside of the house.
Whereabouts?
Right beside the house, probably 10 feet away from the backyard.
In the backyard, okay.
Nothing new other than the helicopters are still in the air, and they had dogs. They took around the dogs today, and as of last night, they had 8 more drones going up from infrared. I urge the public to come out if you have anything, come out as fast as possible and get it to any detachment or any police service that you have available to get to talk to. And Jack just absolutely loves bugs, dinosaurs, anything like that. But Lily loves girly things, but she also loves doing everything with Jack. Bugs, they're like best friends.
There was a moment.
And he did say loved. He did use her in the past tense as he was crying, guys. So I don't know what that is. And yeah, thank you guys for picking up on the blanket. Last night I was freezing on my way home. Freezing. I got stuck in the back seat, right? I got stuck in the back seat. All the windows were down and the drive was far. I was freezing. I sure wish I had that guilty of crime blanket. Yes. You caught that. Past tense. All right. What's up, Amy, Pennsylvania? Good to see you. Good to see you. Let's get these children's name out there. Lily and Jack Sullivan. Lily is 6. Jack is 4. And we got to use that in the present tense, you guys. All right. Because, I mean, you see how many people are out there searching. They didn't find them. At this point, I wish somebody had them. I would want a kidnapping because at least they might be alive. But the whole autistic thing and the way they describe them, I don't know.
Moment where he said that he was surprised that they didn't find anything, not a pull-up or even a backpack.
I'm still holding out hope. I don't know why they didn't find anything from Jack's pull-up to her backpack or any of her belongings at all. They just haven't found anything.
It is so unbelievably strange that this man keeps talking about why didn't they find a pull-up and a backpack. He mentions it in 2 different interviews. It is oddly specific.
The children, they mentioned that was the first thing that popped out to me as they said the children were autistic. And I thought they used the low functioning, if I'm correct. You guys let me know. Again, this is a big case, but the whole missing autistic children is what jumped out of the screen. I'm like, oh no, not again, not using this again. Lady for Justice, good to see you. Natalie B, thank you so much for becoming a member. All of you that are supporting the channel, like, subscribe, share, all free ways. And Natalie B, thank you for becoming a member. Help support my channel. All right.
Items. He even says in one of these interviews that he suspects if they find a backpack, it's going to be really muddy now, and says that after getting soaked the first day, he would have taken his pull-up off. It's really bizarre to me. It's almost like he knows there's a backpack and a pull-up out there to be found.
I imagine now if they're in the woods that it'd be probably brown, but I don't see them carrying their backpack. I don't see him keeping a pull-up on for that long.
Some people are even questioning, is he mentioning these items because he planted them and he's shocked that they didn't find anything like that? I honestly feel like if they do find a pull-up and a missing backpack, that he needs to be arrested. But as of right now, there's no evidence that he actually did anything to his children. There's just a lot of bizarre behavior that definitely raises some questions to if he was involved. And then to make it even more disturbing and strange, after the children go missing and the mother did the interview,
Yeah,
Malia Brooks Murray. And
hold on, my first thing again, you guys, that's Jack and Lily Sullivan both missing. Mom definitely. I knew I heard that. Again, I try to keep up on everything even when I'm not streaming. Definitely said not so verbal. And I say to that, what would somebody want to kidnap two children if the mom is saying they're not so verbal and all these things about them, kind of like they do with Sebastian and other children that are missing? Yeah, we do have an aerial view of the place, and we showed that all in the very beginning. I am going to show you the inside of the house once we get past this next. All right. Yeah, it keeps happening over and over again, talking about autism and how, and you just imagine that they can't really communicate about what the mom says about them. All right. Yeah, and then she also says that they talk someone's ears off and they'll get into any car. What? You don't tell your children at 4 and 6 not to? I mean, they're already, you don't talk about stranger danger already? Again, I'm only judging these parents because the children are missing, and I'm not judging them. I'm trying to get to the bottom of what happened, and all we can do is all speculate because they haven't found the children.
Ends up leaving the husband and going to stay with her family. They've been together for 3 years, and suddenly, right after the kids go missing, she leaves. Not only that, she deletes her Facebook after a video is retrieved from it of her daughter screaming at a birthday party.
6-year-old Lily and 4-year-old Jack are still missing from Nova Scotia, Canada. Other than the press conference of yesterday, we do not currently have any new updates, but I did find a video on FB that the mother had posted of the family prior to deleting her social media, which kind of shows the family dynamic. This particular video I'm going to show you has nothing to do with the actual case, but does show the dynamic between Lily, the stepdad, and the mother.
There's that birthday video. Perfect timing, Marissa. Right there, the screaming birthday video. Again, this video that I'm playing for you is going to give you a lot of pause on those parents and look a lot closer at a certain one. Right? I do have empathy for that stepfather. When I see him bent over crying, or I see him talking out of his mind like that, it's like, man, that's how I would talk if that happened. Like it would be hard for me to, when something bad like that happens, I have trouble communicating. All right. So I empathize with him, but the mother, I don't know. You guys want to hear the screaming again? This is the big birthday video where she screamed at the top of her lungs. At this point, everybody's going to look at every tiny thing under a microscope, guys.
This particular video I'm going to show you has nothing to do with the actual case, but does show the dynamic between Lily, the stepdad, and the mother. That's Lily.
That's a good question.
Some people think that this video is strange, that she's screaming like that and that nobody's reacting to it. But me personally, I don't find it strange at all, because it has been expressed that the children may have autism. So in this moment, the daughter may have been overstimulated by them singing happy birthday and been screaming because of the noise.
We thought maybe that we found tracks, but it's still uncertain. It's been raining and they're probably soaking wet. But with the sun today, I'm hopeful that they are feeling warm. We're all filled with pain and sorrow because we just want them found. We want them home. Everyone loves them. They are definitely verbal, and they do have possible autism, but it's not extreme autism. It's just they have issues with school, and they don't catch up with the other kids. I just want to remain hopeful. But there's always, in a mother's mind, you're always thinking the worst. Last night was one of the worst nights because I didn't have them in their beds.
Originally, it was stated that the children were
It's like she did say that originally about nonverbal, and it makes me wonder if when people use that autistic card, and I say using it as a card because it seems to be, if it's a sign of abuse. All right, it just makes me wonder. But what is there's nothing, and she said multiple statements. Yeah, I saw the free tattoo, Toledo, Ohio. Hey Tiff, you can go to Toledo, Ohio and check it out for me, and then I'll come over and get a tattoo. Let me know how the shop is. All right, I'm almost out of room for tattoos, so it's got to be. But thank you, I appreciate that. That was sweet. All right.
verbal, but later on it was stated that that's not the case. They weren't nonverbal. They just struggled in school. The father also stated that they would get into a car with anybody, which is completely unsafe, that you haven't taught your children to not do that. But he said that they're so friendly and love people. They would have gotten into the car. Somebody could have offered them candy and they would have hopped right in.
Awesome kids, very, very kind. They'll talk to anyone. They want to go with anyone. They're just looking to have as much fun as they can.
Now, this is where the yard comes in because Ariel.
It's so weird to even see that when someone says they'll go with anyone. My kids wouldn't go with anyone. They're like, unless you have a credit card, if you're going to provide me a credit card with a couple $100 on it, DoorDash on tap. I got to have the fridge stocked with my favorite this, and this. Oh, and we need sushi for dinner. Oh, and don't forget, we need salmon every single day. My kids won't go with any of y'all unless you like have that list and give them a credit. It's just weird. It's weird to hear that because I don't know. I just don't know. It's so weird for me. Like my children have always been so cautious, right? My son's gonna be 26 now, but he was always cautious. My daughter is like so cautious, and I'm sure it's because of the true crime that I present all the time. So anyway, it's a weird world, guys.
Photos of the property were released, and when you look outside of the trailer, obviously a lot of people are making statements about the living conditions of the home. There's a camper that has a tarp over the top of it, and so people started wondering who lives there. Come to find out that Daniel's brother lives in that home with their mom. So that means there were 4 adults on the property at the time that 2 children disappeared without anybody noticing. Not to mention the fact that the backyard is completely fenced in. So how would a 4 and a 6-year-old have climbed a fence to get out? And why would they have even done that? Not to mention, it was said that the kids had been out of school for around 10 days because the daughter had a cough.
Person for the Chignecto Central Regional Center for Education tells us the 2 children were students at Salt Springs Elementary School. Their stepdad told us they'd both been out sick all week before disappearing on Friday.
It's really disturbing that that fact was mentioned because that means that they could have went missing after their last day of school and been missing for a week before the police got involved. So I also find that detail interesting, that they were allegedly sick and hadn't been in school for over a week, but they feel good enough to go play outside and potentially climb a fence.
Carly, I don't even know your middle name, but I'm going to say Carly Ann. Don't leave with the mascot. All right. Never leave with the mask. Never leave with anybody. All right. Now, yeah, I think my children are very, they grew up around with me. So yeah, they're going to be paranoid, but yeah, don't do that. One time my mom scared the crap out of me. We went to this place called Santa's Village, and I decided I wanted to go back through the ride again. I didn't tell her anything, and I went back through, and when I got out, she like hid outside. She could see me coming out, but she scared the crap out of me for taking off without letting her know. And that was the only time that ever happened. I don't think Mama Pearl's in here today, but happy Mother's Day, Mama. Happy late Mother's Day. Love you if you watch this. Yeah. Oh my God. Carly Ann. Those are not my children. I'm just thinking about my children and how I would do it. And this world, we all have different perspective, Peanut Butter, every single one of you. I don't live in the country either. I live in the city. So in the city, you don't just walk outside and go out and don't say anything. It's much different when you're in that environment. And I'm not judging anyone for being in that environment. It's just different. But I am presenting the case.
To walk way out into the woods where even trained adults are struggling to search for the missing children, and it just doesn't line up or make sense at all. And then the mother was saying that they never even heard the screen door open, but is saying that they went out there. It's very strange that she's first saying that she didn't know that they went outside, but they also seem to know that they were outside. This could be one of two things. This could be that they were being neglectful parents and weren't watching their children because they said they were taking a nap and they were in there with their baby. Maybe the mom was just paranoid of coming off like she was being neglectful when she was telling her story. And that's just playing the devil's advocate, because I'm going to be real, everything else about it is bizarre. Because if you truly don't know that your children were outside, you're not going to then say that you knew they were outside and went out the sliding glass door. Especially considering whenever you look at these aerial photos, it looks like there's two doors that lead outside. So how would she have known it was that door and not the other back door or even the front door? How would she know that they were in the backyard?
It's like Katie Proudfoot, right? Katie says that Sebastian walked right out the front door, y'all. He walked right out the front door, didn't take his shoes or nothing. But how did she know he walked out the front door when she heard a thud, told him to go back to sleep, and she didn't know anything until the next day? It just makes you wonder, right? Well, you can call that judgmental or wondering. Now, Nancy Jean, thank you, my friend, for being a member for 6 months. They did miss most of the week of school. There was a day off, and then they called out for 2 days for a cough. All right. And we're going to get into that real quick, Katie. You nailed that. All right. Yeah. Rest in peace, Santa's Village. Santa's Village was open when I was little and all year long. It wasn't open all year long, but Santa. All right. It was cool when I was little. I'll never forget that though, man. All right, let's keep going. You guys, you're going to see.
If they never heard them. It just doesn't make any sense. She said that they got up and started looking when they realized that they didn't hear anything at all. So then does that mean that you heard them playing outside? But you're saying that you didn't even know that they were out there. It honestly sounds like people that didn't get their story straight before they started telling it. And I feel like we're all just trying to believe the benefit of the doubt when it comes to this case, because we don't want to believe that they did something to their own children, and we don't know if they did. On Tuesday, May 6th, some potential clues were found. They ended up uncovering a child's shirt and a water bottle. Jack and Lily's stepfather, Daniel Martell, said that those items did not belong to the children. That left investigators and the public with even more questions, wondering, okay, well then whose were they? The family urged the RCMP to widen the search beyond the province and to nearby airports, suggesting that there was a possible abduction and that it couldn't be completely ruled out. I'm under the impression that they believe, even though they've said that they don't think that there's any foul play, that they think that maybe there was. I kind of feel like they're searching for bodies at this point and not for live children. Naturally, when something like this happens, people are going to want answers, but that's led to the growing speculation online. One major area of concern involves this family dynamic. Lily and Jack's stepfather, Daniel Martell, has publicly expressed frustration. He said that after the children went missing, their mother left to stay with their family in another part of Nova Scotia and has since blocked him on social media. She's all
right. Now, of course, people are going to speculate about that, you guys. Since the children went missing, she moved and blocked him. Now, we don't know what happened exactly, if somebody was mad at her for something, and like, look at all the attention you brought her. You said this or you did that, but you just don't do that. All right, you just don't do that. Now, the property is the stepfather's property and the family. All right.
Also refusing to do any more interviews. Meanwhile, some relatives from the mother's side have made public statements questioning Martell's role or knowledge of what happened. Some people are also speculating, is the family kind of pushing towards the narrative that the father did it because the mother had something to do with it? I've seen videos where people are saying that the mother's response to her missing children sounded a lot like Chris Watts.
Did anyone else catch this?
All right, listen.
Listen to Jack and Lily's mom and then listen to Chris Watts.
Last night was one of the worst nights because I didn't have them in their beds. And I don't want to go through that another night without them.
Now Chris Watts.
It was tearing me apart last night, and I needed that. I needed that last night, and for nobody to be here last night and to go into their rooms and know that I wasn't going to turn the rain machines on. I know that I wasn't going to turn their monitor on. I know I wasn't going to kiss them to bed tonight. That's why last night was just horrible.
I mean, he's got that smirk. I didn't see a smirk, but I mean, just the tone and the script and everything. And the only person that I know so far is Katie Proudfoot that does that. I don't know. I mean, this is just as astonishing to me as it is to everyone else. Now, even if you're out there and you think I've been watching this case since the day one, we still don't know. They don't even have, that's not even classified as a criminal case right now. What they're saying to the public is that these children walked out of the house at, let's say, 9:40, and they disappeared when 20 minutes later she calls at 10 o'clock a.m. and that's it. End of story.
I couldn't do it.
If you don't see the parallels there, I cannot help you. I cannot help you. He is laughing because he actually unalived them on purpose and got rid of them on purpose and had that duper's delight, like I got away with it smile. This mother, I believe it was an accident. I believe this was not intentional, but she's covering up what really happened.
It is very bizarre when you see them in these interviews because at first they don't really show a lot of emotion. People who are parents, just like myself, it's hard to imagine that your child would be missing and you would even be able to form a sentence at all. This is very bizarre that a mother has two missing children, age 4 and 6, and she leaves the search area. She's no longer helping look for the children at all. So obviously people have been questioning, why would a mother leave during an active search for her missing children? And why has she remained quiet publicly after that bizarre interview where her statement made no sense? On the other hand, their stepfather, Daniel Martell, has been much more vocal, but not without controversy. In interviews and Facebook posts, he's been openly critical of Malaya, hinting that she may be hiding something. The blame shifting has created a deep divide within the family, and people are...
And guess what, guys? You'll get answers when that happens. I always said if Katie and Chris Proudfoot split up, you better bet your ass they're going to be pointing fingers at each other. It's going to be a he said, she said, and I believe more information will come out. Now, that's what's happening with these guys, which could be a blessing in disguise, all right? And Auntie Ree, you're 110% right. That's what we should be concerned about if they're still alive. I don't know how they would be out in the woods and scared with this many days. They went missing 11 days ago. At 10 o'clock in the morning. I mean, even RCMP says that the likelihood that they're alive is not very high, or they would still be out there looking.
Wondering what happened. You have two missing kids and now their two parents aren't speaking to each other at all and aren't working together to find the kids. It feels like there are details missing in this case. Now, it has been over a week since the kids have went missing, so they put out a statement where they said that due to the conditions and the children's ages and the terrain, that they do not believe that the kids would be alive.
Based on the experts and the review of the facts, the inclement weather, the time frames, and their age, the likelihood that they're alive right now is very low.
We're transitioning from a full-scale search to searches of more specific spaces. Spaces have already been searched by our teams. We want to circle back to increase the probability that all clues have been found. And when transitioning from an active search to a scaled-back search, the probability of survival is taken into consideration. I want to assure you that our missing persons investigation continues. We're not packing up, and we're not giving up.
At the same time, it's very, very intense and very thick area that they're searching, very difficult to traverse, even for trained adults, let alone children. So they've obviously made the decision that they don't believe the kids have got further than their perimeter, the area they've already searched. So they want to go back and research it. And he also specifically said there's areas that they want to revisit. So why is that?
This is one of the only times that we've seen the stepfather break out.
Now, you guys, I always put in my description all of my videos that I reference, all right? So you can go check that out. We talked about it earlier, and we're going to go on to the inside of the house and then the dad. And then if I have, well, I will have time because we still need to go over the red flags, and then we're going to give away a blanket, all right?
In tears. He's also come out and done interviews saying that he has requested a lie detector test be not only performed on him, but other family members as well. Because as you know, Malaya's behavior has been really strange with her leaving the property and not helping search for her children. But there's also 2 other family members that were on this property.
You said they're flying in someone to do a polygraph test. Is that on you?
That's not just on me,
No.
but on everyone. That's what I asked for. I asked for that so early on, and there's not many places that do it in Canada, so they're flying somebody in.
Why do you think you need to do that? Do you think they don't believe you?
I think their side of the family doesn't believe me, and I just want to clear it up for everyone. Clear it up for everyone, not just the people online making crazy accusations and everything else.
Now, think about it this way. The mom left, changed her status, listen to the way she talks. Now, what I think is a possibility, if he's not involved, is that they were both sleeping, something accidentally happened, and the mom woke him up and said, "Hey, the children are missing." And maybe she had already done something, because I can't imagine why he's wanting to take a lie detector and also a DRUG test. All right. So unless he knows how to pass one, there's something that happened either without him. And you guys talked about postpartum also, right? Yeah, polygraphs are not admissible in any court, but look at Chris Watts. That made Chris Watts sing like a bird once he realized that they found out he was lying. But so lie detectors are more to prompt an investigation. You can't use them in court, but if someone goes on and says, "Hey, these people passed the polygraph," people will ease up a little bit, all right?
At the end of the day, the children are still
Still
missing. They're
missing.
suspecting that they're now searching for bodies. We can only hope that they find the children alive, but if they don't find them alive, I hope that they find them so that they can put them to rest. I'll be keeping up to date.
Absolutely. All right. So let's get it. I want you guys to see the inside of the house and then the biological, and then we'll get into some more red flags. And no matter what you think or you don't think, those children, Jack, 4, Lily, 6, are still missing, guys. All right. So no matter what your assumption is about the case or what your speculation is, we only know what we know and what they presented. And when I say they, law enforcement, all right, does evil exist again real quick inside of the house? All right. If you don't like his voice, I can always lower
Lily
it.
and Jack are still missing, and this
And just-
case is very close to my heart since my children are of similar age.
All right,
I
it's
don't
gonna
believe
show
that they were abducted by a stranger or wandered
inside of
off
the
into the
house.
woods by themselves. I believe the answers lie close to home and that the truth will come out soon. Police are preparing to bring in cadaver dogs and had boats on the water
Cadaver
searching.
dogs.
My heart broke a little more this morning for Jack and Lily as I saw their drawings and artwork on the wall inside the family home. At first, it was rumored that the children were nonverbal and wouldn't talk to anyone.
See?
However, the mother seemed to clear that up very quickly, claiming that they would talk to anyone. They were very friendly. We can definitely confirm that the children are verbal, as even the bus driver talked about them being chatty, always laughing and being happy on the bus
Weird,
rides.
guys.
Jack loves bugs and dinosaurs, and Lily likes girly things,
Right,
but will
there's-
apparently follow Jack everywhere. They are like best friends, according to the stepfather, and not just brother and sister. Others said that Jack loves to dig for worms and likes to turn over pieces of wood to find bugs. They sound like such
Okay,
adorable
let's see if
children,
they show
full
the
of energy.
inside.
This photo of their art was released, and at the bottom here, we can see Jack's paintings. His
Oh.
name in red and another green painting too. I think the green painting are some insects, since Jack has a love for them. Lily writes beautifully, and she wrote a few sentences about her mom. The topic sentence says, "This is my mom." Important detail number 1, my mom bakes cupcakes. Important detail number 2, we play with toys. Important detail number 3, we watch movies, and then finally at the end, as an ending sentence, she wrote, "I love my mom." There is also a beautiful painting of a dragon next to Lily's writing, but it's unclear who painted or drew that. Let's continue to keep precious Jack and Lily in our prayers, and may
Yeah, I don't know why they say the inside of the house. This is just, I guess this is the inside of the house on the wall. So maybe the inside of the house does look much different. All right. Now, again, this is not what I originally had presented, but I'm going to show you one more. That was the only thing that I've seen on the inside. So if that's an indication, the inside does look much better, as well as the biological. Just quickly here, biological father court records, and then we'll get into
I have
red
got a lot.
flags, more red flags. All right. Let me show you the biological. You guys wanted to find out about biological, so we talked about him being in and out. Somebody said he was in prison, not so much right now.
A lot of questions regarding the biological father of Lily and Jack Sullivan. Who is he? Where is he? Why haven't we heard from him?
I
And the
know, I
list
know.
goes on.
They're
I have
short.
been digging into this for the past couple of days, and can finally bring you all the information I could find on him. Lily and Jack's biological father's name is Cody Lee Sullivan. There has been a lot of speculation surrounding him, with some claiming that his reason for not speaking out about his children's disappearance is because he is in prison. I can confirm that he is
No,
not in prison
not
and
in
is
prison,
awaiting an
guys.
October 2025 court date. Cody
Okay.
was born in the year 1996, and as far as I know has 2 children, Jack and Lily. On Friday, June 21st of 2024, shortly after 8 p.m., a local resident was robbed of a high-priced item. The police received a complaint from an online marketplace seller, who stated they had met up with the purchaser at the agreed-upon place, when the purchaser, who we now know was Cody Sullivan, produced a knife. He demanded the merchandise and then left the area in a pickup truck. The seller was able to get a description of the vehicle and its last known direction of travel, which enabled police officers to catch up with the suspect vehicle quickly. The merchandise was located inside the vehicle and returned to the seller.
There you
Thankfully,
guys
no
got
one
it.
was injured during this incident. The suspect, Cody Lee Sullivan, was arrested and held in custody. The next day, the 22nd June, he appeared before a judge and was released on bail. Why he hasn't come out to speak about his missing children and plead to find them, I don't know. I don't know how involved he was in the raising of them.
Probably
Something
not
that
much,
online
guys.
sleuths are pointing out is that Lily and Jack seem to be very close with the stepfather. In this picture, we can see them standing close to him instead of their mother. From someone claiming to be Daniel's friend, it was said that he does more for the children than their own mother. Tables are quickly turning, while he is getting more support, as he is the only one at this point, speaking to media and trying to work with police by staying at the property and allowing them to search wherever they want. The mother,
Yeah,
on the other
weird,
hand, has
guys.
been missing in action. She left and has not pleaded for her kids to be returned, even though she thinks they've been kidnapped. It speaks volumes.
All right. I wish he didn't. I used to love listening to Evo Exist. All right. There's short videos, good information. Now we're going to get into the red flags and some disturbing new details. Thank you, Synth, so much. All you guys for being here. You really are helping me support the channel, grow the channel. We're almost at, we're right under 24,200 subscribers. So we want to get to the 25 and then, of course, above, right? The more we can get out there, the bigger reach we have. So yeah, she does look like she takes care of herself. I said that in the beginning. I wasn't trying to be judgmental and say, oh, they look like Botox. Like, who cares, right? It doesn't matter. People get Botox, but she does look like she takes care of herself. She's a fairly pretty lady. But I just don't know what is going on with her. All right. So many red flags. Let's listen to this deception detective, some more disturbing details, and then we're gonna break for tonight. We've been going for over an hour and a half. Oh, by the way, for we're gonna do a Mother's Day late giveaway for a Mother's Day Foxy box. We're gonna give away a Foxy box, and we're going to give away a Guilty of Crime blanket at the end of this. So the only way you can enter is by putting a comment, so your name gets put in the generator, and hitting the like button. Yes, thank you, Pointer Lover. I'm so glad you're still here. Right? So glad you're still here. Now, I don't know how they have money. We don't even know about their money situation. Just because they live in a house that looks like that, we don't know what the inside looked like. We don't know how much money he made. We don't know how much money she made. We don't know nothing about them. Not really. Not really. All right. All right. Listen up. Red flags everywhere, guys.
Polygraph test, is that on you?
That's not just on me, but on everyone. That's what I asked for. I asked for that so early on, and there's not many places that do it in Canada, so they're flying somebody in.
Why do you think you need to do that? Do you think they don't believe you?
I think
I do
their side of the
too.
family doesn't believe me, and I just want to clear it up for everyone. Clear it up for everyone, not just the people online making
That's a good question.
crazy accusations.
That's Daniel Martell, and I think he knows more about the disappearance of his missing stepchildren than he's letting on. And it's not just because he's somehow able to dismiss every online accusation, including those against the mother, who's statistically the most likely culprit except for himself, as crazy. So in today's video, let's analyze that recent interview and one of his earliest interviews and count all the contradictions and red flags. I'm Deception Detective, an attorney trained in statement analysis. This channel exposes lies and manipulation. If that's your thing, hit subscribe. For exclusives, early access, and other cool perks, consider becoming a channel member. Link in description. Even if you're familiar with this case, you might not be up to date with the most recent important developments. So before we grab our deception decks and start analyzing Daniel, here's a quick recap.
4 days into the search for his missing stepkids, Lily and Jack Sullivan, Daniel Martell is pleading with the public to keep their eyes peeled. Martell confirmed that when the two children went missing from the home behind me, Lily was wearing a pink shirt and pink rain boots. She was also carrying a white backpack with strawberries on it. Martell says although he didn't see Jack that morning, he is believed to be wearing a brown shirt, brown pants with a pull-up diaper on underneath, and blue rain boots with dinosaurs on them. According to Martell, his side of the family are currently the only ones at ground zero after Lily and Jack's mother left the county Saturday. But still, he remains, begging anyone with answers to come forward and bring his children home safe.
This is my third video about this case, and every time I play a news clip to set the table for new viewers, there's another glaring red flag. And at this point, it's a Russian parade. First, we have Jack.
Yeah, and I know you guys have been here for quite some time. This is a first introduction to this case on my channel. So thank you guys for being here. We've been here an hour and 55 minutes. We still have this one and then one more like 10-minute video of the latest and greatest Deception Detective came out less than a day ago. Disturbing details. And then also, guys, California judge resentences the Menendez brothers to be eligible for parole in 50 years. So we've been following the Menendez case. We follow every case here. Let's be real, guys. Let's be real. We're true crime people. We follow all of the true crime. So anyway, judge did resentence. They did resentence Menendez brothers to be eligible for parole in 50 years. Now, I don't know how much longer they have to wait. They've been in there for 30, but let's see what happens, right? Now, the Menendez brothers were children just about when they got locked up. Now, we know they did that awful crime, so we'll see what happens with them, but I just want to let you know, thank you, Carly, for sending that, and let's keep going. Yeah, these missing children cases are not a joke, all right? It's not a joke. I don't even know, whatever someone feels about a creator doesn't amount to a joke, just my thought. Right, no, I don't even know what we're talking about, but these children need to, they need us creators to get this out there. I mean, there's no other, after a while, the news stops locally, the searches stop.
And Lily, who were reported missing on a Friday, but we've since learned that they were out of school the entire week. We have Daniel, a non-biologically related adult male in the house of small children, which is heavily correlated with neglect. As of yesterday, we have the police winding down their search for Jack and Lily, suggesting that they have reason to believe that they won't be found alive. And finally, we have the biological mother fleeing the area while her kids are still missing, suggesting she has reason to suspect that too. I won't rehash every red flag from those videos. I'll link them at the end so you can check them out after this. For now, here's a quick clip from the last one because it's important to the analysis we're going to do today. Innocent parents tend to do 7 things when they have the opportunity to get on TV. For instance, parents of missing children, if they're innocent, if they actually have no idea what happened to their kid, talk about their kid in the present tense. Secondly, we can expect them to be cooperative. So if the police or the media are asking them questions, they answer fully and candidly. Third, innocent parents are inconclusive about what happened if there's no evidence to suggest one scenario over another. In this case, if they actually found 2 boot tracks showing the kids walked into the woods, there's no way to say for sure that they must have been kidnapped or that an animal dragged them off or any other scenario. They should be considering all possibilities. And that brings me to the 4th item on the checklist. If all possibilities are open, a kidnapping is also open. So typically, innocent parents look into camera and beg any kidnappers or anyone who might have their kid to please return them. Finally, we can expect innocent parents of missing children to directly ask the audience watching on TV for help because that's the only point of doing the interview, to get help, to get information out there. If they do anything other than that, like try to push a narrative or try to construct their own alibi, we need to be suspect about that. That's the rundown of my missing child presser checklist, and those are the 7 things we're going to listen for Daniel to do in these interviews or not do, along with any signs of deception or leakage. So without further ado, let's watch the interview he did 3 days ago, and then we'll watch the one I played in the intro, which he did 24 hours ago.
We were searching. We covered everywhere possible. Even in the first day, we did. Even with me running through the woods, I was ahead of the helicopters and ahead of the drones and stuff like that. Screaming as loud as I can, and just until my throat hurt. Running through water that was up to my waist. And as soon as I got back, I wasn't allowed back in the woods until a man dressed in a military outfit said I could go back into the woods.
4 days into the search for his missing stepkids, Lily and Jack Sullivan, Daniel Martell is pleading with the public to keep their eyes peeled, but he has begun to lose hope they are anywhere in the vicinity.
I hate being wet and cold, so they immediately would have came right back into the house. The only 2 prints are right beside the house facing the road, and then that's it.
Martell wants the search to be extended to include provincial borders in case the children were abducted, a reality he says is becoming more and more likely.
Post any officers they can get at the New Brunswick border, PI.
Now, just because something's not super likely to happen, like it's not super likely for someone to move on out into where they live way out in nowhere and drive down to wherever they live, and there's people that you don't know if they're living in that RV or trailer, whatever, and that you don't know where the people are, so it's not likely. You just don't know. You don't know if someone wasn't knew that those people had 5 children and maybe there was time. I don't know, but yeah, I mean, the most likely thing is that the parents did something, and statistics aren't always true. Just like you don't always want to judge a book by its cover. But what are we looking at here? 2 children still missing.
Border and get them at every airport possible.
Martell confirmed that when the 2 children went missing from the home behind me, Lily was wearing a pink shirt and pink rain boots.
As I said in my last video analyzing Daniel, he's actually doing a lot of the things on my missing child presser checklist correctly. For instance, in this interview, he's allowing for multiple possibilities. Maybe the kids wandered off, or maybe they were abducted, but he's not allowing for every possibility. And when I say that, I mean he's not suspicious of the mother. And when I said that, I got lots of comments, I'm assuming from new subscribers, saying, hey, DD, do you really expect these 2 parents to start suspecting each other or bashing each other on TV? And my answer is yes, that's what innocent people do, because all options are on the table until proven otherwise, even suspecting your spouse. And it's not at all unique. We see it all the time on the channel. For example, with Gannon Stouch's mother, Kyron Harmon's mother, or Sebastian Rogers' father. In fact, as we saw in the intro, we're even starting to see signs of it in this case with Daniel. He didn't just say he wants to be polygraphed to exclude himself. He wants everyone to be polygraphed. But before we get too excited about his prospects of being innocent, we still have to finish watching this old interview from 3 days ago. So let's see what else he says here.
He also refuted the claim that the 2 children are nonverbal, saying while they are on the autism spectrum, they are quite trusting and say hi to everyone. According to Martell, his side of the family are currently the only ones at ground zero after Lily and Jack's mother left the county Saturday. But still, he remains, begging anyone with answers to come forward and bring his children home safe.
Anybody who has any information, or you think you've seen something or hear something, or any messages from friends about hearing something, just contact your local police services. Anything, guys, anything.
It's the end of that interview, and as you can see, Daniel asked for help, which is a great sign, but it doesn't outweigh all the suspicious stuff, like him not suspecting the mother at all after she picked up sticks and left town while her kids might still be out in the woods. And then not only do we have a contradiction about the children's talkativeness, remember initially they were supposedly nonverbal. Now we have him telling us how they say hi to everybody and they're super talkative. Coincidentally, or maybe not coincidentally, the mother said the same thing, which makes me think that this contradiction is a contradiction of convenience. Here's how I explained it in my video analyzing the mother.
We're looking outside, we're looking everywhere, yelling for them, and I instantly just call 911. I just had the instinct I needed to call. They're both really go-lucky children. They're so sweet. They talk to anyone. They'll talk your ear off. They will speak to anyone in a store.
Yes, I saw this.
I don't like how she's leaving all those little breadcrumbs to sort of suggest or imply to us that the kids must have been kidnapped or gone off with a stranger by telling us how talkative they are and all that sort of stuff. It's unnecessary, and it's pretty blatant if that's what she's doing. To be clear, I think the mother, Malaya, was definitely pushing a narrative when she was going on and on about how talkative the kids are, because it was unprompted. And for such a brief interview, it took up a lot of time when it had nothing to do with getting people to help find where her children are now.
See?
It was strictly theory pushing, which is the red flag for a hoaxer. Remember, they get on TV to push a theory or to build their alibi. Innocent parents get on TV to ask for help.
She's like this.
As far as Daniel goes, I don't know why he's saying it. Maybe they scripted that they were going to say this beforehand, so they're on the same page. I'm not quite ready to go all in on him, even though I'm ready to go all in on the mother. So let's see if this most recent interview tips the scales.
You said they're flying in someone to do a polygraph test. Is that on you?
That's not just on me, but on everyone. That's what I asked for. I asked for that so early on, and
Everybody.
there's not many places that do it in Canada, so they're flying somebody in.
Why do you think you need to do that? Do you think they don't believe you?
I think their side of the family doesn't believe me, and I just want to clear it up for everyone. Clear it up for everyone, not just the people online making crazy accusations and everything else.
All right, so that's the clip, and I'm actually happy to see that things are breaking down between them, because it could suggest
Yes.
that Daniel's innocent.
Yes.
Or if they're both guilty, I'm glad they're turning on each other. Finally, I'll wrap up this video the same way I wrapped up so many others like Don Wells and Chris Proudfoot. Daniel, if you're open to an interview, contact me through the DD forum. At the very least, I'll get your story out to a bunch of new people. At the very best, if I'm satisfied with your answers, I'll be your biggest advocate on YouTube. If you want to continue.
Yes, reach out, guys. Hit the like. You guys already follow DD, of course, because you're on my channel, and you probably followed him before. Let's go. We got 1 day ago, disturbing new details, and this is going to be the latest. This is going to be the latest in what we have. There's a lot of speculation, but there's nothing naming these parents, nothing naming the mom, just a lot of suspicion surrounding it, okay? And if you don't like DD, that's okay too. All right? That's okay too. If you don't like my channel, that's okay too. You don't have to. You don't have to. All right? All right. Now this is great. This is Deception Detective pulling some content and information from Plunder, and then we're going to bring it all together. This is 1 day ago.
No phone reception, but she does have photo of the two kids.
Yes,
The
yes, yes, yes,
6-year-old
yes.
is the girl, I believe, and she's wearing pink. The 4-year-old is wearing some blue dinosaur boots. The drone operator is still on scene with the mom, so.
That's Nova Scotian police responding to Malaya Brooks Murray's 911 call about her missing children, and it concerns me greatly. So in today's video, let's analyze the rest of that recently collected audio, courtesy of Plunder True Crime, and I'll show you why. I'm Deception Detective, an attorney trained in statement analysis. This channel exposes lies and manipulation, so if that's your thing, hit subscribe. For exclusives, early access, and other cool perks, consider becoming a channel member. Link in description. If you're not familiar with this case or just not up to speed, don't worry, because Plunder does a good job of recapping the case and explaining
so
what
does
data
Guilty
she's
of
collected
Crime.
about it. So there's just one last thing I want to quickly do before we grab our deception decks and start analyzing that dispatch audio. And that's play a clip from my first video in this series so you understand how I approach new cases like this one, where details are sparse and stories are still developing. If you've been here for a while, you'll know that I'm a big proponent of Bayesian reasoning. In other words, our baseline is set at the statistically most likely scenario. In the case of missing children, one of the most likely scenarios is that they wandered off and got lost. So any evidence that suggests that theory will weigh heavily right away.
Now, I just don't know the possibility at this point. 11 days later, they wandered off and got lost. 11 days later with the extensive search. Now, the running water was a big red flag for me. Seeing the running water and thinking of two children being out there. But would they have been found? Where does that run to, you guys? I saw a lot of water around the Nova Scotia area, and Halifax was a little further down. They were a little further up, but a lot of water surrounding the area. So where does that water go? Where would it take the children to? All right, I don't know. And yes, Deception Detective looks good in this blazer. He looks good in his Stay True. He wore the right tight shirt for you ladies that do like him. All right, go DD.
But any evidence of something less likely, like a stranger kidnapping.
And by the way, there is more to this story. There's social media that we picked up on. There is CPS involved in the case. There's 911 calls to go back through. I just can't get through all of it today, but I'll have to run this again because I do have more information that I haven't even touched in today's episode. All right, you guys. So I'm getting out as much as I can today.
Or a UFO abduction, will be really hesitant to weigh that evidence
A
very heavily
UFO.
unless
No,
it's
no
amazingly convincing
UFOs.
evidence. And I know it might sound biased or unscientific, but it's actually one of the best frameworks for making predictions. And based on statistics about missing children, the exacerbating factor of a stepfather rather than a biological father in the home, and the strange statements this mother's making, I'm going into this already suspecting that the children probably wandered off. It might be worse, but I'm going to say probably wandered off, and that they might be lying about it because they were drugged up or neglectful or something of that ilk.
Yes,
Obviously, a lot has
yes,
changed
yes.
since then, but right up until I heard this dispatch audio I'm about to play for you right now, and we'll break it down together, I thought that was the most likely scenario. Now I think it's tied for first place. So without further ado, let's listen.
Where are little Lily and Jack Sullivan? That's the question many people are trying to answer, and many people have been working so hard over the past week to discover. Supposedly these little ones, these 4 and 6-year-old children, went missing allegedly when they opened a sliding glass door at their home in Canada, in Nova Scotia, and just disappeared into the ether. Is that what really happened or what? I've been digging into this case, and I've dug into 48 hours worth of dispatch, the available archives. That's why I get a professional.
And we have a lot of those. Thank you, Tiff. Again, we got a lot of things to listen to that we haven't even touched the surface. So I do have audio calls. We're just kind of clipping it up because today we needed to present everything in the whole base of the crime. I didn't want to just jump in there and be all over the place so people can actually watch the video and know what happened in the timeline, etc. All right. It's just mom's boyfriend, not stepdad. Now, yes, they call him the stepdad. This kind of seems like, again, it's like the Madeline Soto case, right? Where they call Stefan the stepfather, etc. All right. So let's keep going so I can get through. Now after this, we're going to run the guilty of crime for the winner for a blanket and then a Happy Mother's Day Foxy box. All right, let's get to it.
Account over on Broadcastify because
I
want to be able to just find data, find helpful information in cases like this, especially a case like this where the rumors are running rampant. So let's try and talk about facts. I went over 48 hours worth of audio, pulled it into my editor, and I've extracted about 30 minutes worth of information I found interesting or relevant, not just the communications trying to figure out logistics and stuff.
So that's the recap of the case in case you weren't familiar with it. And as you can see, before we even start listening to the audio that Paula has collected, there's red flags flying everywhere. We have 2 little children who vanished without a trace. And when I analyzed the mother in that video I played a clip from earlier, I found her to be deceptive. I especially noted that she was insistent that she immediately called 911. So hopefully when I play this next clip of dispatch audio, you'll recognize why I'm pointing that out. All right, let's listen.
And before we listen, I'll just say one more time, guys, hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't, get a membership if you can, and super chat, super sticker, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal helps to support the channel. All right. So we're going to give away a guilty of crime blanket, and then we're going to give away a Foxy box Mother's Day. Oh God, I can see the internet kind of going up and down. So I hope that it's been running pretty well. I did a lot to get this fixed, guys. I've been putting in so much time and effort and details of getting this streaming correct. So I hope it's streaming right for you guys at this point.
She has no phone reception, but she does have photo of the 2 kids. The 6-year-old is the girl, I believe, and she's wearing pink. The 4-year-old is wearing some blue dinosaur boots. So, yeah, I think that's all we kind of have right now.
Yeah, how do they know?
The drone operator is still on scene with the mom, so.
Just make sure mom stays close to the house there in case they happen to sneak out and get back into the house.
This is a Canadian case, so it might be a while before we get that 911 call audio, if ever. But based on the clues that we have here, we can deduce that the mother did not have enough reception at the house to send the police photos of her kids, which makes me wonder if she had enough reception to call 911 from the house. Or did she have to drive somewhere else to do that too? If you've been here for a while, you'll know that it's never a good sign when the parent of a missing child takes a long drive right after call.
And it's never or I should say it's very concerning when a child goes missing and nobody have seen those children for days before, right? Because we don't know when they actually went missing if nobody saw them. And thank you, Clark. The poor Comcast guy spent 5 hours on Thursday. He had to go up on the pole. He found a trap on the pole where people were like, it's a trap used to make the signal better, but it was making my signal bad, and a whole bunch of other stuff. I had to buy 2 different modem, like a whole shenanigans. But if it's working for you guys, I'm so happy because I just want to get the best content out there. Right? Yeah, it never looks good when a child's missing and then you give details that don't match up with the other person.
Calling 911 or before calling 911. We saw it in the Madeline So case where her mom's boyfriend.
Now, let me just tell you real quick. I saw many people saying the bus driver saw them on Tuesday, but they went missing on a Friday. Wednesday, Thursday, supposedly went missing on a Friday. That's 3 days. All right. And we could even say 2. We can, if you want to give the benefit of the doubt, 2 days that they didn't go to school because of a cough that they went missing. So Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Where were they? And yeah, I love Plunder. I've got a fantastic person that I say is the next up and coming Plunder. I'm going to share that with you tomorrow. We got CPS calls. We got the 911 call. Lots of speculation, lots of details that give you more than just speculation. And I'll tell you what tomorrow. But I do love Plunder. I got another one. Man, another up and coming channel. I say next up and coming channel, Plunder.
Drove miles away to dump her dead body. We also saw it in the Chris Watts case where he drove far away to dump his dead children. The thing is, all those cases happened in urban and suburban areas. So those long drives were able to be tracked pretty precisely with cell phone tower pings.
So she still called them out sick then on Thursday. They said 2 days. There was 1 day, no school. School is closed. And then after that, called in sick for having a cough. All right. So 3 days. Tuesday, we last day bus driver saw on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Nothing. Not a good sign. Not a good sign.
CCTV cameras, Ring doorbell cameras, and even eyewitnesses.
Thank you.
Meanwhile, this case happened in rural Nova Scotia. So my big question is, if Malaya didn't have enough reception to send photos of her kids to the police, did she at least have enough reception to call 911? Or did she have a landline? And if not, how far away did she have to go to get that reception? Does she just have to walk down the driveway? Or does she have to drive a couple miles? And if it's the latter, and she has to drive a couple miles to get reception, is there any way to track that drive? Do we know she only drove to where she got reception? Or could she have gone way farther in order to hide little children?
Graphic little star over.
I know there's a lake nearby.
And
Daniel
then
did talk
Thursday
to the press.
and
I'm
missing
grateful he's
Friday.
talking to the press. He talked about allegedly authorities searching bodies of water or something like that.
Exactly.
But then the Mounties don't want to confirm anything to the public.
Lots of RCMP in the area that I've seen. They were at Lansdowne Lake, and they told me that they scoured the lake, divers, and sonared the lake, and there's no evidence at all. If they were in this area, would have found them. My family's still searching.
The CTV News report from Friday, May 9th, quotes Daniel as going on to say, and we're
Now, we just saw a family picture that may have had the children from the other relationship because we saw 5 children. We saw a baby that she was holding, 2 other children, and then another one that I wasn't sure who it was. And so I believe there were 5 children in that photo. I don't know whose children. I don't have all that information, Sheila, but thank you for letting us know. But I did show the one with the whole family. And I'm pretty sure I counted 5 of them, guys. 5 of them. All right.
We're never going to give hope. I don't know if he actually said that. We're going to continue to look and probably continue to look for the rest of my life. That is an interesting quote. I hope we get that video of him too. The rest of him saying that, because those are quite a couple of quotes. I don't know if he meant to say we're never going to give up hope, and that's what he actually said, and it's a misprint. But he's expecting to look for the rest of his life as if he'll never find Lily and Jack. So if they're looking and finding like
Interesting.
little stickers, that shows you the detail. And I think this was really late at night, if I'm not mistaken. I have different times on the audio and I'm like, whoa, they found that so late at night. They're really looking. It was on the bridge. You know, they're looking for real great detail, clues. That's how detailed these searchers are. There was a canine unit, according to the audio, that was tasked to investigate the blanket. Now, we heard about this.
This is Colchester Base calling the K-9 unit tasked to investigate the blanket. Do you copy? Over.
True crime audio.
This is Bravo 3. I was with Kilo 2 like 3 seconds ago. He went towards the main road there.
When Daniel said he might have to search for the rest of his life, that was a red flag. Paula was right about that. And that's because it belies some sort of knowledge that he'll never find the children. It's like OJ saying that he'll look for Nicole's real killer for the rest of his life. Or John and Patsy Ramsey saying the same thing about John Bonet's quote-unquote kidnapper. Does this mean that Daniel's the culprit and he killed the children? Not necessarily. If you see my other videos in the series, you'll know I actually think he's far less involved than the mother is. But it does suggest he knows more than he's telling us, whether that knowledge is that his girlfriend, their mother, had a temper and may have actually done something permanent to them, or that they disappeared days before she reported them missing, so she would have had ample time to hide them somewhere, or that he knows who kidnapped them. In other words, he knows they're actually kidnapped and they're not going to get found. Since we don't have this on film, as Paula pointed out, it may have just been a typo. Maybe the journalist got it wrong, but I suspect their editors realize how damning that is, so they cut it out of the video so people like me can't jump all over it. Another thing that jumped out to me about this audio is how thorough and minute the search is. In other words, they found little boot prints, and they even found little stickers of stars. If there was actually an abductor who came and took the children, wouldn't he have had to drive there? Would they not find unknown tire tracks in the area?
Very
Would
true.
they not have found
Very
the abductor's footprints somewhere as well? After all, an abductor big enough to take 2 children at once would surely have bigger feet than the kids and be heavier enough to leave deeper impressions. And if there were
Yeah, they found one footprint, you guys. But again, I think that the law enforcement definitely they're keeping their cards, right? They're keeping their cards close to their vest. 11 days, children are missing, weren't seen for 3 days before that. Okay, maybe they saw, maybe the bus driver saw on Tuesday. We're still talking Wednesday, Thursday, and then she called Friday at 10 a.m. We don't know when they actually went missing. They don't even know. They're not even telling us what happened. So, that being said, that's why we're here, and that's why we're going over and wanting to hear the 911 calls. Prior CPS, where's the mom? Law enforcement ruled something out, but we don't know anything. We don't know everything because they're not telling us. And of course, there has to be something else going on in that investigation with them missing that long. They're either not alive and they're looking for bodies, or they really do think they got abducted. But Dee Dee's right. Where are the tire tracks? That place is fairly remote. You don't just drive back there and not expect someone to hear a car coming back. Just saying. I mean, it's just how it goes.
Multiple abductors, we'd expect to find way more clues about their presence. Check the end card for my other videos about this case. If you want more like this, please comment, like, and subscribe. Until next time, stay true.
All right. Lots of good information. We still have more. I will be covering this case tomorrow. There's no way I can get through the whole thing today, but you guys will hear the 911 calls, more calls that we have. We have a lot of information, and I can't get to it all today. But what I can get to right now, we're at 2 hours and 21 minutes in. I'm going to go ahead and do let's do the blanket, because I want to make sure the person's here. And then I'm going to spin for the Foxy Box. You guys can talk amongst yourself in chat. I'll pick winners. You guys will email guiltyofprizes@gmail.com and guiltyofcrime.merch, right? You can drop the link. Drop the link. Well, one goes to one goes to the other. Either way, we'll hook it up. All right, let's go, guys. Log in with this. Let's get you guys in there and get this thing going. Thank you guys for being here today, by the way. A lot of things been going on behind the scenes, but I think we did very well today. So thank you. All right, let's get this confirmed and start, guys. Now, Wyatt, we know you can't win because I can't get your address. I can't send Jennifer B. You can still win something. Let's go. Oh my goodness. All right, now this sucks. I hate saying this, and I forget every time. This is for the blanket, but and we're covering a case in Canada. I love you. This is not up to me, but shipping to Canada from the United States it's a huge amount. So, Tiff and Foxy, please put it in there. I love you too, Em. Please confirm that for me that we cannot ship to Canada because the cost is like crazy. It has to be in the US. I'm going to go ahead and run it again. If that's not the case, then we're going to run it for the second one. All right? Love you, Em. I'm not shipping this, but I'm also not going to ship. I can't. Last time I shipped to Canada, it was like $60 for a whole lot of nothing. And unfortunately, I don't have money like that to give away. Although it's not giving away. I love you guys, but I know you understand. My girls have been giving a lot away, and yeah, it's just expensive. I don't like it though. All right, let's go. I don't know what this is for. I guess this is for the blanket. Where are you at, Tiff? Yeah, we can't shut down to US, Canada. All right, so we're not shipping. Lady for Justice. That is you. Tiff, where are you at, girl? Where are you at? We have 2 winners here. Thank you, blah, blah, blah. Thank you for that, for saying that. Lady for Justice, you are in the United States, I believe. I've been talking to you lately. Lady for Justice. Let me look. Lady for Justice, you're in chat and you're also in the United States. Is that correct? All right. All right, Tiff, you're here. I need you to direct Lady for Justice where to go for the blanket. Lady for Justice, I believe you're in the United States. We can ship to you. Congratulations, Em. Love you. I know we have some gifts that will go out of the country. I just got to get that all sorted. 444, say a prayer for those children, and we'll be back with more. I got one more. I'm going to give away the Foxy box. All right, so Lady Justice, you won a guilty of crime blanket, and you deserve it. You deserve it for sure. She's in Kentucky. Tiff, I'm losing you again. Where does she send that to? I'm going to pick the Foxy box winner. Tiff, where does she send that to get the blanket? All right, one more. Foxy box, Mother's Day gift for somebody in the United States. All right. All right. So just send that over to, I don't know where Tiff went again. Chat's flying. Tiff, I need to know where to send that to. I think Amber has won before, but you got to remind me. Amber Day, are you in the United States? Lady for Justice, I don't know where Tiff is. Just email me and I'll send it over to Tiff. Tiff says she's responding. Okay, good. Tiff's going to respond. If not, just email me. All right, next one, guilty of prizes at gmail.com for Amber Day. If you're here and you're in the United States, there you go. Foxy Box, guilty of prizes at gmail.com. Tiff will be guilty of prize merch. I don't know what the email is. I can't remember them all. All right, Amber Day's in Australia, Foxy, so I can't do that, but I'm going to go. Thank you, Amber, for letting us know. I'm going to pick one more winner. If you're in the United States, we're going to ship you a Foxy box for Mother's Day. We got one more. So if you guys left, don't leave. We're going to spin it again. Right? It's hard for me to try to keep up. All right, Lady for Justice, it's guilty of crime.merch at gmail.com. I'm sorry, Amber. Rosie, I know for a fact, is in the United States. All right. Tiff, guilty of crime.merch for the blanket. Lady for Justice. Rosie, we're going to guilty of prizes at gmail.com. Yeah, I can't exclude you guys or not. It is what it is. Rosie, guilty of prizes at gmail.com. Lady for Justice, guilty of crime.merch. All right, guys, I love you. We did it. Congrats to everybody that's won anything on Guilty of Crime. Don't forget, you guys help support the channel. Mods help support the channel so much. All the things you guys do. You guys are great. I love you. Thank you for being here. Hit the like button on your way out. If you want Jack and Lily that are missing and you want the awareness to be spread, please share this video with your community. I will be back tomorrow at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 7 p.m. Eastern. Congratulations to you all, and thank you so much for everything you do. We'll be back with more information and more deep diving into the case tomorrow. I love you too, Shannon. Jennifer B, have a good night. Ashton Lee, Real Gemini, Jen's a Gypsy, Jacqueline, Monique, Mama Ames, all you guys, justice. Well, let's find Jack and Lily so we can get justice for whatever the heck happened. Love you guys. Have a good night. Talk to you soon.
Guilty of crime.
I want to thank you for watching. If you enjoyed my content, please share this video, like, and subscribe. You can also follow me over at Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, X, or Gmail. If you'd like to donate to my channel, you can use Cash App or Venmo or PayPal. Thank you very much in advance. Guilty of crime.
Are you guilty?